Ladies and gentlemen, racing enthusiasts, boys and girls, welcome to Sunway Pyramid, Kuala Lumpur. This is the Blue Concourse, and as we stream live to everyone out there who's watching on their favorite devices, formerly known as the Toyota Gazoo Racing Velocity Esports Championship. Welcome to the semi-finals of the Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup Malaysia 2023. Are you ready, fans? We can feel the energy right here at the Blue Concourse at Sunway Pyramid. I'm Nas Rahman, your host for this round, the semi-finals and the grand finals of GT Cup Malaysia 2023, brought to you by Toyota Gazoo Racing. And of course, this is the semi-finals. Yesterday we had a lot of racing. The quarterfinals, of course, featuring 40 races who have made it thus far. And today, ladies and gentlemen, 20 semi-finalists broken into two groups will be making it into the grand finals for a chance at 25,000 ringgit. Woo! All thanks to our sponsors, of course. Thank you to Toyo Tires, Modelista, TCD Asia Company Limited, Denso Malaysia Sdn Bhd, NK Malaysia Sdn Bhd, Motis Malaysia, Toyota Capital Malaysia, and Kinto One. And of course, this race is brought to you by UMW Toyota that has been supporting esports racing since 2018. 3 million viewers later, 40,000 spectators later, and UMW continues to support grassroots motorsports and translating this success onto the track. Just remember now, our semi-finalists will go on to the grand finals tomorrow, and the winner will be representing Malaysia at the Regional Rebel, the GT Cup Asia 2023, and then on to the World Series. So, for those of you who are here in Sunway Pyramid and those of you watching live stream, come on down to Sunway Pyramid and test your mettle with our machines right here. Our simulators are ready, and if you can beat TGR celebrity Zizan Raza's best time of 1 minute 49 seconds, you stand to win some exclusive merchandise from Toyota Gazoo Racing Malaysia. All right, Nas Rahman about to sign off as we welcome our two commentators who know everything there is to know about the GT Cup Malaysia. This round, 2023, what kind of track shall we be driving on? What kind of machine shall we be driving? It's time to burn some virtual rubber. Let's go racing with Victor Cax and Matthews Isaac. Over to you guys.
Thank you so much, Nas. And those of you who are right now, welcome to Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup Malaysia 2023. My name is Matthews Isaac, and right next to me is Victor Cass as we bring you all the actions in the semi-finals. Victor, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited for this weekend.
Yeah.
You know, it's literally the highlight of the year for me to come to the Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup here. I mean, the new rebrand is a new, fresh experience, I think, for everyone here. And we got a little bit of taste of how the racing action is going to be with the top 40 competing in yesterday's quarterfinals, didn't we?
Absolutely, man. It was really a blockbuster of a race in the quarterfinals, and I just can't wait to see what's going to be happening. And here you go, looking at the 20 semi-finalists. So starting from Group A, we have Taj Azrin Aiman, and in the second place, we have Mio Muhammad Hafiz. Third goes to Muhammad Afif. Down there we see Akil Saufi, Putra Azwira, Wan Muhammad Afik, Alvin Chai, Shahrizan Hassan, Harris Shami, and last but not least, it is Ahmad Ashadik. How about on Group B there, Victor?
Yeah, I mean, we got Lao Wei Kit, we got Cham Yong Laird, Wayne Go, Chao Jen Ye. These guys have actually been veterans of past seasons of the Velocity Esports Championship. Danish Bikaswaran comes back as well. So does Chong Kai Chang, Chandra Mauli Adnan, Muhammad Hakim bin Sumhaimi, who happens to be the brother of Afif Sumhaimi, aka Taichi Yagami. He is also competing here today and representing Malacca in this instance. Shafiq Ali also is going to be coming in as a first-timer. He has been a competitor before in other esports series. Great to see him in Gran Turismo as well. And last but not least, we have Muhammad Kama Ali. So in terms of representation, you can see a lot of racers are from Selangor, but we're also having a lot of representation from other regions as well, particularly from Penang, from Malacca, and also from Negeri Sembilan, and of course Danish Bikaswaran representing Wilayah Persekutuan.
Absolutely. So tonton dan puan, inilah semi-finalist anda. So nampaknya it is going to be Nas that will be having something to talk about. So Nas, over to you, man.
Thank you to our dear commentators. Yeah, there you have it. That's the lineup for Group A as well as Group B. Wah, sangat-sangat dominan daripada Selangor ya. Nampaknya banyak e-sim racers kita berasal dari negeri merah kuning. Tapi semuanya, it's all up for grabs. 25,000 ringgit to be exact. And so, it's time to get to know the drivers of Group A a lot better as they take their places on their sims. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, are you ready to meet Group A? Let's not waste any more time. Our first semi-finalist was last year's semi-finalist. Put your hands together for Ahmad As-Siddiq, Ahmad Jamsore. Encik Ahmad, you are at sim number 10. Dipersilakan. All right. That's our first semi-finalist. Next, let's invite Sharizan Hassan. Newcomer semi-finalist kita, Sharizan, you at sim number 9. Best of luck. Ladies and gentlemen, our next semi-finalist, put your hands together for Wan Muhammad Afiq bin Wan Hasnan. Also a newcomer, best of luck. And you are at machine number 8, best of luck. Next, let's invite Akil Saufi bin Azli Saufi, last year's semi-finalist. And making it to this stage again in 2023, best of luck, off to your sim. Next up, let's invite last year's finalist and back here for another crack at 25,000 ringgit, Mio Muhammad Hafiz bin Mio Labudin. Encik Mio Muhammad Hafiz was a contender last year, and this year, let's see if he's got what it takes. I like comel-comel, peace, begitu. All right, ladies and gentlemen, next up, we invite two-time champion. Put your hands together for Taj Izrin Aiban. This man burned some virtual rubber last year, losing it very closely to Iqbal Suji. And this year, let's see how he does. Best of luck, off to your machine. Our next semi-finalist is Muhammad Afif bin Suhaimi. Let's give him a big round of applause. We've got two brothers this year, and we've got Muhammad Hakim in the other group. So best of luck to our two brothers, off to your machine. Our next contender is also last year's finalist. Put your hands together for Putra Azwira bin Sahazam. Putra Azwira coming in close last year. This time, make it happen at sim number 3. Silakan. Two more drivers for Group A. Our next contender is Alvin Chai Ming Han. Alvin Chai, first timer here at the semifinals. Best of luck, you are machine number 2. And let's invite our final contender for Group A, last year's finalist. Put your hands together for Haris Shami bin Muntasir. He's a soloist, and this time around, he knows what he's got to do to make it to the grand finals. Over to sim number 1. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Group A, and only 5 drivers across 3 races will make it to the grand final. Right now, it's time to go racing. Back to you, Matthews Isaacs and Victor Cax. Over to you.
Right, thank you so much, Nas. So here we go, having a look on the race format. So Victor Gas, anda adalah expert when it comes to race format. Terangkan kita, apakah race format ni?
Yeah, it's a very simple race format. If you've been to the past seasons of Velocity Championship, this looks very familiar. Basically, we're going to be starting off with a qualifier into a sprint race. The sprint race is going to be lasting 15 minutes long. The most important information that we need to know here is going to be the tire wear and fuel balance, because these are the factors that are going to be randomized every single race. Now, for our semi-finalists for Group A here, we're going to be having a tire simulation rate of 15x and a fuel simulation rate of 12x. This is incredibly high. We're going to be having lots of tire wear and lots of fuel consumption for these drivers to have to manage throughout the race. Now, the weather for this series as well is going to be balloted too, which means that it's going to be random for each different race. So this time around, it's going to be cloudy conditions, which means it's going to be windy. There's going to be a lot of things for these drivers to contend with. Now, all the cars will be running on a balance of performance, meaning that the performance level of every car is going to be similar, and tuning is turned off. So we're ensuring that all the drivers have as equal as a playing field as possible. And in every single race, they will receive points. As you can see on the board, first place gets 25, second place gets 18, third place gets 15, and it's a 2-point split all the way down to 9th, and 10th place, which is only going to be a single point split. And throughout the entire semifinals, they're going to calculate the points for both race number 1 and race number 2, as you can see here. So what's different between these two races? Well, race 1, you use qualifying to determine the grid position, but race 2 has its grid position determined by the race result of race 1. So let's say if you finish first place in race number 1, you're likely going to be starting last place in race number 2.
So this is a very, what can I say? I mean, this format, I mean, we have known for this, but here we go. This is the track setup that we'll be using for our race today. It's going to be Dragon's Trail Seaside for race 1 and race 2. Dan jaraknya adalah 5.2 km panjang dan mempunyai 18 leko di situ, Victor.
Yeah, it is a fantasy track. This is a completely fictional track, but it's based on a real-world location in Croatia, literally right next to the beach. So literally this triangle of a track here, one of its corners is literally right on the beach itself. It's a really beautiful place to race on. It's first seen in Gran Turismo Sport, the previous title, and it comes back yet again here in Gran Turismo 7 because it's such a legendary, iconic track that a lot of drivers here, especially veterans of Gran Turismo, particularly love this track.
Absolutely. So inilah jentera yang kita akan gunakan tak lama lagi, and this is the car setup. It's going to be GR Supra RT20, and even in race 1 and race 2 we'll be using the same machine with the 382 horsepowers and with 500 Nm max torque there, man. This is going to be absolutely a beast on the track, but it is down to the drivers all the time there, Victor.
Yeah, this Supra RZ, I mean, it's, for one, such a beautiful car, isn't it? Toyota really put out all the stops to make this such a beautiful machine, and it's great to see that we have a faithful representation in Gran Turismo itself. Now, let's have a look at the prize pool here. This is the most exciting part because the pool of money that's coming in this year is way higher than previous years. This time around, the champion will go home with 25,000 ringgit. That's a lot of money, isn't it?
Absolutely, man. So 25,000 adalah untuk champion. Second place will be bringing home 15,000. Third place will be bringing home 10,000 ringgit. Fourth will be bringing 7,500. Fifth place will be bringing 5,500. Sixth place will be bringing 4,500. Seventh will be bringing 4,000. Eighth place will be bringing 3,500. Ninth place will be bringing back 3,000. 10th place will be bringing 2,500. And from 11 all the way to 20 will be 1,000 ringgit each there, Victor.
Yeah, so yesterday's qualifier was literally a challenge for them to get into the money, so to speak, because only the top 20 are the ones who will be able to get a minimum of 1,000. But from today onwards, from these races onwards, it's going to be a battle to see how much more money can you make above that 1,000. So it's only a 500 split all the way up until like, what was that, about 7th or 8th place. So the higher you get, you know, the higher amount of money you get. And of course, if you're the overall champion, you're going to be coming home with the lion's share.
Absolutely. So I think we'll be showing you about the track and everything, all the explanation about it. So here we go. Let's have a look on what's coming on the screen.
Hi, my name is Nakib Azlan. I'm a Toyota Gazoo racing racer in the real world and a professional sim racer too. I'm really excited to see what our competitors at this year's GRGT Cup Malaysia will bring to our virtual racetracks. So right now, I'm going to take you on a walk around one of the circuits that they'll need to conquer, the Dragon Trail International Raceway. It's a racing complex that made its debut in the Gran Turismo franchise on GT Sport. It may be a fictional facility, but the location itself is real and the seaside layout is quite a nice one to drive. For this track, we'll be driving in the 2020 GR Supra RZ as the car's nimble nature would be best suited for the Dragon Trail seaside's technical and fast-sweeping turns. A car with racing pedigree was made for tracks like these. Here we go, top gear at over 200 kilometers an hour as we swing around turn 1. Slight lift here as it's not running on slicks or having wings. Riding the curbs a bit just to make sure we prepare for turn 2 that's coming up real fast. Brake for turn 2 between the 200 and 100 meter boards. Keep it straight before going down through the gears. Second or third depending on the entry, and ride on the curbs as turns 2 and 3 blend into one another. Open up the corner on the exit as we speed past the small king at turn 4 and ready the car up for the tricky turn 5 and 6 right-handers. Then lift off before the entry, let the car coast before braking into turn 6. Use the curbs on the outside sparingly. Stay somewhat close to the middle for turn 7, then aim right for turn 8. Use the curves at 8, 9 and 10 to hook it through the section and string it together so that the momentum can be carried through all the way to turn 11. Slight kink at turn 11 as we race fast to turn 12. Look for the 150 meter board on the top left, then brake straight. Run along the curb on the outside, then make the apex for turn 12. Quite a deceptively difficult corner as it's easy to run into the wall here. Then we come up to the most notorious section of the entire circuit. For turns 13 and 14, we use the curbings on the inside, then swing out to the right, turn in a bit before the curb in the armco, and monster the curbs at 15 before flicking it into 16. Past the tunnel a la Monaco we go, keeping it to the left as we now enter the final corner on the track. Brake straight for turn 17 between the 150 and 100 meter boards, turn in before the 50 board, refrain from using the curb on the inside too much. Run along the curb on the outside, exiting turn 17, and then make the run for home as we climb up through the gears. Grab the curb on the inside of the kink and keeping it to the left for the shortest run onto the line. And that's a lap around the Dragon Trail seaside. This car and track combo will be used for the first of 2 semi-finals for our championship. Join us from the 18th to 20th of August for a weekend of great racing at Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup Malaysia 2023, live at Sunway Pyramid or on your favorite social media channels. We'll see you soon.
All right, so that is the extra details about the track. You're back with us, Matthew Isaac, and also Victor Cass, your official commentators of the day. So nampaknya kita akan mulakan perlumbaan tak lama lagi, tetapi kita akan go to our qualifying session dahulu. Kita nak tengok great position mereka ni, Victor.
Yeah, we're going to be having a lot of expectation out of these 10 drivers here in Group A, isn't it? Particularly this one man, Taj Aiman. He is returning once again in order to try to reclaim his title that has been sadly taken away from him in last year's season. So this time around, unfortunately, Iqbal Suji couldn't join us for this year's GT Cup. So unfortunately, hopefully he'll be joining us at home there, watching for us, because he's certainly very much missed at this event here. But this is going to be a huge opportunity now for Taj Aiman because his main rival is no longer in his competition, but there's certainly a lot of other rivalries that can come up here, particularly from returning drivers that are coming in from past seasons as well. So Mior Muhammad Hafiz, this guy, when the first time we did a Gran Turismo tournament for the entirety of Malaysia, which was the E-Racing Grand Prix back in 2019, he was the most dominant Gran Turismo driver. But unfortunately, when he came to this Velocity Championship, he hasn't quite gotten the same level of result. So now that he's come back here, he's coming back so strong. He won his own group in Group D itself, and looking like he might be having a lot to show us here today in this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the experience speaks for itself. But from your point of view, who do you think you're going to be rooting for? Like the races that you really need to look out for this time?
Oh man, I mean, again, I always want to see how the new blood is going to do against the veterans here. So I think some of them are actually more in the other group here, but particularly for one of these guys here, Vin Forever, aka Alvin Chai. You know, he was the MSF MAN Merdeka Cyber Enduro champion, so he has some credibility in other sim racing series here. This is going to be one of the first times in a major Gran Turismo tournament, so I'm going to be expecting to see a lot out of him. As here we go, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be qualifying for Group A.
Yeah, so jadi tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, inilah qualifying section di dalam Group A. Ini adalah semi-finals di dalam Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Club Malaysia 2023, dan kita on board bersama dengan Mio Hafiz yang kini berada di hadapan, tetapi kita akan lihat what will be his best timing in the qualifying session.
Yeah, you can see everyone just jumped out of the pits immediately, right, as soon as the qualifying started, because no one wants to lose out at time. Again, the Dragon Trail seaside is such a long track, right, 5.2 kilometers, so with only 5 minutes on qualifying, that means you may have just about enough time to have one, maybe if you're lucky, 2 flying laps. So right off the bat, you know, they want to come out together. And also another good reason to do that is if you can position yourself properly in these out laps, you may be able to benefit of getting a slipstream slipstream from other drivers while out qualifying as well, and that will add a lot of speed when it comes to these long straights here, of which they're actually quite plentiful here in Dragon Trail. Now they're coming up to one of the most difficult sections, known as the chicane of death. There's a reason why they call it that way. It's so easy for you to just lose control, end up in the wall, and completely ruin your race right here and then. So you have to be absolutely smooth and precise navigating these very tricky corners.
Ya, kalau kita lihat kita punya track ni agak lebar sebenarnya. So but that is that tricky corner that you were really talking about. So that is a place where really need to watch out. And this is none other than Taj Aiman, who is right now in P2. He's only 25 years old, and he has won 2 championships before there, Victor.
Yeah, 2 championships, and if I'm mistaken, well, in the case, he is going to be coming back here to try to reclaim his title yet again. We have been taken away by Iqbal Suji last year. This time, however, he's going to be standing alone here, pretty much against the newer blood that's come into this tournament. And you know, knowing his prestige when it comes to Gran Turismo, I think a lot of other competitors are going to have a hard time to match his level of performance, isn't it?
Absolutely. So I just can't wait to find out what is going to be happening very soon in this race, because we know all the names here are pretty huge names, and they all really worked hard in the quarterfinals and all the way to be in the semi-finals, and now they're just one step away from becoming the finalist there, Victor.
Yeah, and again, like Taj Aiman had previously represented Malaysia when we had the GT World Series just last week. In fact, he was a part of the contingent together with Danish Bigoswaran as well as Melvin Chung, and all three of them competed under the banner of Malaysia at this World Series. Unfortunately, they only managed to place a 12 and got a time attack like best of 8 out of like 12 teams there. But nevertheless, you know, coming into this one here, they certainly are looking like some of the favorites in this tournament here, and certainly some of the drivers to watch out in this competition.
Absolutely. Yang sedang lihat di dalam live stream ini adalah Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Club Malaysia 2023, dan kita akan memulakan race tak lama lagi selepas qualifying ini tamat di dalam 2 minit lagi. Dan inilah kita bersama dengan Putra Azwira, pernah menjadi finalis di dalam Tijar Velocity Esports Championship pada tahun 2022, dan beliau pernah juga menjadi salah seorang pemenang di dalam Michelin Virtual Racing Series juga. So ini menunjukkan prestasi beliau dan juga achievement beliau di dalam sebelum ini, and he is down here to claim another title maybe there, Victor.
And again, you know, with all that kind of like that kind of portfolio, he's also incredibly young, only 21 years old. So one only wonders what how much more potential does this kid have, you know, in the future. So certainly one to watch in the years to come, and has certainly been impressive even from the qualifiers. From the quarterfinals alone. He's chasing very hard against both Taj Aiman as well as Mio Hafiz. So we're just going to see whether or not he'll be able to match the level of pace that we've seen out of these guys so far. And in terms of the time, though, Taj Aiman again head and shoulders above everyone else when it comes to the time. 1:45.974 is the fastest time he's set so far, and that's going to be the benchmark that Group A needs to beat.
I mean, it's very impressive to see Taj Aiman and also Mio Hafiz to be in the same bracket there, Victor. Both of them are really like one of the top racers that we have been seeing throughout the years. So I just can't imagine how it's going to be once the race comes in there, Victor.
Yeah, we're watching it on screen right now as well, riding along with the Siga Raga. He, like Mior, also had his debut back in the E-Racing Grand Prix 2019. Although he didn't have like a champion trophy from that time, he was also very much a highlighted competitor in that regard too. So it's great to see him also back in this race. Now, I also want to call you guys' attention to the tire wear here, because as I mentioned, the ballot that has been selected for this race here, 15 times the simulation rate, and you can see the tires, even within one lap, have already worn down nearly a quarter of its health. We're already halfway through the qualifier, and you can see the tires are already completely worn down.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of conditions that drivers will have to contend with later on in the race. So you can imagine the difficulty and the pressure that's going to add to it, isn't it?
Yeah, so management tire dan juga pit stop strategy kenalah dengan tepat, Victor. Janji tayar tak botak. Kalau botak pun janganlah kita lumba dengan rim. We don't want to be racing on a rim there. So here we go.
And the thing is that, you know, in yesterday's quarterfinals, we saw that a lot of the drivers favored the one-stop strategy, even on conditions where the tire deck was very, very high. However, this time around in Dragon Trail, because the pit lane is a lot shorter, the drivers can consider maybe going for those 2 or maybe even 3 stops here, which I think might be quite necessary in order to deal with the high tire degradation due to the increased amount of simulation rate on the tires here in this semi-finals.
Yep, so jadi tamat dah qualifying session, so we will be starting our official race very, very shortly. This is the semi-finals of Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup Malaysia 2023. But man, it is going to be racing and no more qualifying after this. And my eyes is like really sticking to Mio Hafiz and also Taj Aiman there, Victor.
I know these 2 guys like have a lot of history with each other, especially when it comes to the game of Gran Turismo. And the thing is that you know, unlike Taj Aiman I would consider to be a specialist when it comes to Gran Turismo. He has entirely conditioned his techniques and his like ability to race to this game. It's like it's literally he tailor-made himself for this game to become one of the best in Malaysia and perhaps even the world. Whereas Muhammad Hafiz, he actually has a lot of a wider bit of a wider range of experiences because he doesn't just compete in Gran Turismo, he also competed in like competitions instead of Corsa and other sim racing games as well. So he has a wide range of experiences. It's just that perhaps when it comes to this specific game, he finds it very hard to deal against players like Taj Aiman who are 100% focused on this game and knows all the ins and outs of the specific title. So that's a kind of interesting thing when we look at the e-racing scene here in Malaysia, isn't it? Where you have some drivers who specialize in certain conditions, but you also have drivers who are jack of all trades, but somehow masters of none.
Yeah, that's a very spicy one, to be honest. But it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. So the race will be starting very, very shortly, and these are a little bit of the highlights of the races that we really need to look forward to. 2 of these giants in the same group, and the finals is going to be even bigger for a blockbuster. But we're about to find out what's going to be happening in the semi-finals race that will be starting right now.
So Taj Aiman will be starting alongside Muhammad Hafiz, and you got Haris Shami, aka Zefari, just behind. The lights have gone off, the drivers are off as well. Taj Aiman leading the pack as we go down towards turn 1. Remember, this is a very quick right-hand turn, so you don't expect these guys to be lifting up at all. You're going to be pedal to the metal until we get to the chicane, but Hafiz is trying to get alongside Taj Aiman here, but Taj does have the inside going to the first chicane. Very bumpy, going over the curbs there, but Taj Aiman tucks in, keeps himself in the lead right now, and leads the entire pack of Group A through the paces of Sector 1.
Ya, satu permulaan yang sangat baik daripada Taj Aiman, tetapi diekori oleh Muhammad Hafiz di belakang sini. And let's see if Muhammad Hafiz is able to put the pressure on Taj Aiman, who is right in front of him right now. Afiq kini berada di dalam P yang ketiga, dan mereka masuk ke dalam seleko yang ke-8 sekarang ni. Dan kita masih lagi berada di dalam awal perlumbaan ini, dan inilah top 3 kita yang sedang berlumba di hadapan Mio Hafiz. Kita juga lihat Taj Aiman di P pertama, dan P3 adalah untuk Afiq.
Now the challenge for Mio Hafiz is to be able to stay within a second of Taj Aiman there so he can enjoy the slipstream that comes up of his car, especially in the fastest parts of Dragon Show. But now we're coming up to one of the slower corners right on the beach side here, and it's going to be imminently into that chicane of death. Now let's see if Mio Hafiz and Taj Aiman will dare to go alongside or maybe even close to each other through the chicane, but looks like they were taking it nice and safe right over the curbs there. They had to be very careful because these curbs can easily unsettle the car, but these guys, they know exactly what they're doing. They've done this thousands of times before, and they've done it yet again.
Ya, pengalamannya agak tinggi daripada dua-dua ni. So it's going to be a very big of a blockbuster of a race between Taj and also Mio Hafiz. But let's see, Victor, it's a long way to go. We're just in the first 1 minute 48 seconds, and it is going to be a long, long day for these racers as well.
Yeah, one Afiq currently sitting in P3. He's going to try to head up with Azura. We got Mio Hafiz trying to go alongside Taj Aiman. He got the draft coming out the exit there. He holds with takes Taj Aiman even before he gets to turn 1. So now it's going to be Taj Aiman's turn to play the attacker.
Ya, so Taj Aiman cuba memberikan tekanan di situ, dan kita lihat masih lagi Mio Hafiz cuba untuk mempertahankan garisan beliau, dan di belakang adalah Taj Aiman sekarang ni, dan mereka menuju ke dalam seleko yang ke-5, dan Dan ini adalah satu Seleko yang agak technical sekarang ni. But still, Taj Aiman is still holding on to it there, Victor.
He's holding on. I'm just looking at Mio Hafiz's face right now. It's like a serious poker face, isn't it? The guy has literally taken the lead of the race, but he still remains as calm as a cucumber here, ladies and gentlemen. So Taj Aiman now face full of focus. He's going to be chasing hard against Mio Hafiz. He's going to want to try to find where his weaknesses are and perhaps formulate a plan now on how he wants to retake the lead.
Ya, so Seleko yang ke-10 sekarang ni dan kita masih lagi lihat Alvin Chai on board sekarang ni dan Putra Azwira juga kini berada di dalam P yang keempat, diikuti di belakang di P ke-6 adalah Suhaimi dan Alvin Chai sekarang ni ada peluang. Azwira sekarang ni berada dalam garisan keluar tetapi tidak cukup. Alvin Chai sekarang ni masih lagi mempertahankan lead beliau dan terus masuk ke dalam P yang keempat.
That was a classic case of being the last of the late breakers there. Great work there by Alvin Chai to overtake Putra Azwira there. Not the easiest competitor to defeat really, because Putra Azwira has been very, very fast in this competition. But we also got Afif Suhaimi also capitalizing on that, overtaking Putra Azwira to put him down to P6 now. So it's going to be a battle now between Afif Suhaimi as well as Alvin Chai for P4, the position just outside of the podium.
Yep. So kita masih lagi kini berada di dalam Seleko yang pertama dan Taj Aiman sekarang ni berada di dalam P yang kedua. Paling pantas adalah Mio Hafiz dengan 1.50.087 adalah timing yang terbaik setakat ini di dalam perlumbaan semi-finals. Race yang pertama di dalam grup A sekarang ni. Dan Taj Aiman kita on board bersama dengan beliau dan Mio Hafiz masih lagi mengekalkan posisi beliau di hadapan. He's taking it all calm there, Victor. He's not letting Taj Aiman to get anywhere near him. But for how long, that is going to be a very huge question between both of them.
It's going to be very, very long. I mean, again, the race is only going to be 15 minutes, but that means it's only going to be another 10 minutes to go here for Mio Hafiz to hold his lead here. And the key thing now is to make sure they don't overextend themselves, meaning they don't overuse their tires, forcing them to pit a lot earlier than need to. So the fuel usage, the fuel consumption is a lot higher on this race here, 12 times the simulation rate. So they also have to be mindful about how much fuel they're using lap per lap. They can adjust their fuel maps in order to reduce the amount of fuel they're using. They can lift and coast coming into these corners in order to reduce the amount of fuel they use. But that comes with a trade-off as well. And the question for Mio Hafiz is that how well can he play that balancing act between preserving the life of his tires and the fuel that he has in his tank while still staying ahead of Taj Aiman every single step of the way.
I think the experience is definitely going to be helping them. But one thing for sure is that these boys at the back, we really need to look forward. Here is Shami. He's on P7 trying to chase down Putra Azwira, who dropped all the way to P6 now.
Yep,
and here we go. Shami might have a chance now. And Shami just couldn't make the bet. He's just headlighting over there. It's like, I'm watching you, mate. I'm just coming right behind you. We're going to go for a long one now.
That's Harish Shami telling everyone here that his real target wasn't actually Putra. His real target is the guy in 5th place right now, Afif Suhaimi, because that is the slot that will get him into the grand finals. But Shami now under attack for Putra Azwira as he comes up alongside now. True turn 1. Azwira will have the advantage though that he's in the inside of this turn. So Shami will lose out in the track position here, but he can try to fight it back if he can just outbreak him, but he just wrestles his way through into turn 2, now into turn 3. He comes out still in front of Putra Azwira.
Yeah, Putra Azwira masih lagi mengekalkan P yang ke-7 di situ, Victor. He tried hard, but Shami showed how it's done. And sekarang ini kita berada di dalam Seleko yang ke-5 dan kita masih lagi tengah lihat pertemuan antara Shami dan juga Azwira. So jadi di dalam P ketiga kita lihat Afik dan bagaimana pula untuk Suhaimi. Alvin Chai masih lagi menekan di belakang di situ. Dan Alvin Chai has been pretty impressive so far there, Victor. But my eyes is all on Suhaimi right now.
Yep, Suhaimi takes up into P4 and Harish Shami now. He has Alvin Chai in his sights. He is latched on to his car now. He is aiming to try to get alongside him around the outside. He does get around the outside now. P5 for Harish Shami, but can he hold it until he gets to this breaking point? He does. He keeps his car just in front of Alvin. He tried to defend with Putra as well. Contact in the back there between 6th and 7th places. Alvin Chai has to back off and he falls down to 7th place.
Now this is the battle battle I've been talking about. The P5 is always going to be absolutely a blockbuster of a position that you want to really fight for there, Victor. And Shami is now still holding on into P5. Alvin Chai chasing him. And will Alvin Chai get in front of him? That is going to be another question that we do not have an answer as they're coming into turn number 17. And let's see if there's going to be any chance for Azwira put a pressure on Alvin Chai.
Now we're going to be reaching the halfway point of this race near 7 minutes and 25 seconds here. Putra Azwira now trying to defend, but it looks like he will be diving into the pits together with Amit Shaufi. We go into the pits now. Three people are in the pits at the moment. One of it though, he still stays out. So does Afiq Suhaimi, Hari Shami as well as Alvin Chai, and Siddiq will be also staying outside. So they will try to go for one extra lap here, while everyone else, including Taj Aiman and Muir Hafiz, the race leaders early on, now are in the pits, changing up to a fresh set of tires.
Yeah, so kita mempunyai beberapa minit lagi berbaki di dalam race ini dan Suhaimi sekarang ni berada di lampi yang kedua dan Shami terus pun meminta Suhaimi di situ dan terus berada di hadapan, tetapi masih lagi ditekan di belakang adalah Suhaimi dan ada peluang di sini untuk boleh memintas, tetapi tidak juga. Shami masih lagi mengekalkan, tetapi bagaimana pula di dalam downtrack ni dan nampaknya mereka terus masuk dalam seleko yang ke-8 sekarang ni. Yeah, that's the 8th one.
He does it. He gets in front of Afif Suhaimi now, so he's got battle here to try to get a pride between these two guys, because we're still yet to see how things will turn out after they've gone through the pit lane later on when they go in for their new set of tires. But now Wan Afing is going to be under attack. Hari Shami, he still has so much more to give here. He's going to go alongside Afing, takes to jostle him for the lead of the race. He is in the lead of the race by the time to get out of the corner. Amazing stuff here from Hari Shami.
How good is Hari Shami so far, but how long he's going to hold on to this P1? That big day came all the way from P3 and he got himself in P1, and right behind him is going to be Afik that is trying to chase him down. But look at the gap between Shami and also Afik right now. Alvin Chai still putting on the pressure back in P3 now, and this is the top three that will be coming out very, very shortly as they come into turn 17.
Well, now here comes Alvin Chai having a look on the inside of one Muhammad Afik here, but he can't quite make the move though as Afik closes the door on him in the final corner. So Alvin now is going to have to dive into pits. So does everyone else who have not done the pit stop yet. So let's see, where does the others lead up here? Taj Aiman actually came out of pits ahead of Muir Hafiz, so it looks like he's going to one who will inherit the lead of the race now.
This too is going to be another huge race that we really need to look forward to, Victor. This rivalry is going to go insane if these two manage to go into the grand finals. So Muir Hafiz up against Taj Aiman, back again in P1 and P2, and off they go as they come into turn number 1.
The big question for me here is like, where will the late pitters come out by the time the other drivers already gotten through? But we already see that Afik has already come out, so does Alvin Chai. They are both in 5th and 6th place respectively. Oh no, so like Selfie is going to be taking 5th place there, so he just came out as well together with the other group. So a bit of a tumble around the corner, around the order right about now. But for the top two here, I mean, look at the gap between Hafiz as well as Hari Shami, 12.7 seconds. So seems like it's actually a lot better for you to actually consider taking the pit stop earlier, isn't it? Because it seems like with Taj Aiman and Muir Hafiz having taken the pit stop earlier, they managed to jump 12 seconds in the lead compared to the rest of the pack here, who decided to pit one lap down.
So nampaknya strategi itu betul-betul working so far untuk dua-dua ni, Victor. And let's see if they are able to do something way, way amazing than what we expected throughout this race. As we are on board, and Suhaimi right now still putting on the pressure towards Shami in the front, and Suhaimi right now might be looking into the outside now as they're coming into turn 12, and Shaufi also coming in on the same line as well, and Shaufi might overtake Suhaimi, and he got himself into P4, and Suhaimi is left behind in P5. Up he goes with the chase. In the front is going to be Shami.
Yeah, Akil Salfi still maintains himself ahead of Afif Suhaimi by the time to get through that. Now in their true to the Volcano Depth, they want to try to take the single file line until they get to the tunnel here. So will Suhaimi have another chance to try to attack? There's still less than 3.5 minutes to go from this point on. So time is of the essence now for Suhaimi to maintain his spot in P5. But he is going for the attack now. trying to have a peek on the inside of Akiel's car, but still not able to find a way through. He doesn't have the speed nor the differential to make the pass for P4.
Ya, dan mereka menuju ke dalam seleko yang pertama dan kita on board bersama dengan most of the racers yang kini berada di hadapan. Nampaknya adalah Taj Aiman, Mio Hafiz di P kedua, P ketiga untuk Syami, dan on board sekarang ni adalah Suhaimi yang cuba untuk mengejar Alvin Chai sekarang ni, dan ada peluang untuk Suhaimi berada dalam garisan ke dalam dan bagaimana dalam exit pula tidak nampaknya Alvin Chai menutup ruang dan menafikan gerakan-gerakan daripada Suhaimi.
Well, like Alvin Chai, he has a lot of cojones really to try to block off Suhaimi like that, but now Suhaimi is in trouble here because not only he needs to try to get back his position in P5, Alvin Chai just actually slips on the inside of Akiel Salfi. Now this could be the chance for Suhaimi to take his place back. He gets alongside Akiel Salfi, but it's still not quite done yet. Both of them are still relatively side by side until just about now when he cuts in front of Akiel Salfi and takes himself back up to P5.
Yeah, coming into turn number 10, Alvin Chai still holding on, and Suhaimi right now chasing this man right in front of him. He wants that spot, but Suhaimi is in a, I would not say in the most safest position because Salfi is right behind him as well. Salfi is just waiting for Alvin Chai to make some sort of a mistake, and maybe now, maybe no. And it seems like Alvin Chai still putting on that defense absolutely well and not letting Suhaimi breathe in the front.
That's why all this still going to be very, very much a multi-way battle here for P5 because that is a coveted last spot for this group in order to get into the finals tomorrow. That's why everyone is fighting so hard for this one tiny number here just in the middle of the pack here. And right now Suhaimi, he's in that hot seat here. He needs to try to keep this position until the end of the race, and then he will confirm his slot to the grand finals.
Ya, so jadi tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, kita sudah pun lalui 13 minit di dalam race ini dan kita sedang lihat kita punya main leaders yang kini berada di hadapan adalah Taj Aiman. Tempat kedua adalah untuk Mio Hafiz. Tempat ketiga Alvin Chai in P3 now, Victor.
Yeah.
P4 adalah untuk Syami. P5 adalah untuk Sawan. Nampaknya ada penukaran di situ.
Oh
tidak
no,
ada.
Akiel Salfi dropping another place here as
Yes.
while Muhammad Afiq gets past him for P6. It's not going to be a slot to get into the grand finals, but it just made Akiel's job a lot harder in these closing moments of race number 1. We're already at the 14-minute mark, ladies and gentlemen. 1 minute still remaining. Will they be able to get through the whole lap here within that 1 minute to start another? I mean, I think for Salfi's sake, he might want to have that be the case here so that he has a little bit more time to try to fight back. But look at the gap now. Suhaimi chasing very hard against Shami, who had early on been on P3. Now he's going to be looking to face another drop in position. Suhaimi elbows out, pushes him out of the way it did, but that's totally legal racing because he keeps the space. He allowed Shami to do his best, but Suhaimi was just that little bit better.
Ya, tekanan demi tekanan yang kita lihat daripada Suhaimi dan juga Syami, dan inilah spot top 5 yang mereka sedang mempertahankan sekarang ni, dan nampaknya Afiq kemungkinan ada peluang untuk memintas Salfi sekarang ni berada dalam garisan keluar, tetapi Salfi masih lagi menekan di situ dan Salfi menutup ruang, tidak memberikan Afiq untuk berada di hadapan, tetapi Afiq kemungkinan sekarang, and he got himself in the front there, Victor.
Yeah,
Afiq in P6 now.
Yeah, he's in P6 now, but Mior and Taj Aiman now coming to the line here. Is it going to be a checker flag this time? I think that might be the case, although I don't, yeah, I've seen it. There's a checker flag there. So that's going to be a race to the finish line. Taj Aiman wins his race in Group A now, but everyone else is going to be coming through. Alvin Chai, will he be able to take the podium here? He's trying to head off Jaime coming through the last corner, but he has a gap, he has the distance now. He is pushing to the line. He sees a checkered flag, flashes him to the line. He takes P3 there. Alvin Chai on the podium as Suhaimi comes through to take P4, and Hamid Shami takes P5. They are going to be your grand finalists for tomorrow.
Absolutely. So what a race it has been in the semi-finals. Group A, race 1, and it is over. We'll be having a look on the provisional results very, very shortly. But congratulations to the man in the front, Taj Aiman. I would say he's an alien, man. Yeah, he's an alien alongside with Mio Hafiz, both of them with bags of experience, showing how it's done season in, season out. And here we go again for another battle in the grand final. I can tell you what, Victor, Taj Aiman and Mio Hafiz in the grand finals is going to be one of the most amazing things you can ever find when it comes to eSIM racing there.
It's going to be electrifying here, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go. Congratulations to Taj Aiman, who won the race. What a race it has been for this man. And yet again, every season, he's just showing how it's done. I mean, how long he can go there, Victor. He's just putting on grade A performance every single season. And that comes with backloads of practice. And there you go, a look on the result. P1 is going to be for Taj Aiman, P2 Mia Hafiz, P3 Alvin Chai, P4 Suhaimi, P5 for Shami, P6 for Afiq, P7 is going to be Safi, P8 is going to be for Siddiq.
Yeah, the Siga Raga himself in P8 there. But certainly, you know, if Hafiz Suhaimi is the alien, like, then what are Taj Aiman and Mio Hafiz? Because they are so far ahead of everyone else. 19 seconds there, look, between Mio Hafiz and Alvin Chai. That's how much faster these two guys were just out of the strategy they did, which was a pit earlier, actually, compared to the rest of the pack. But the other guys, I don't blame them really for holding out for that extra lap, because again, the main thing for them is that they want to be able to finish at least P5. And Haris Shabi, you know, he managed to climb very, very nicely. In fact, he managed to lead the race at one point. But however, I think he might have pushed a little bit too hard and too far, and perhaps going on that extended run on his stint there might have affected his ability to keep up with the rest of the pack there, because eventually, once we came to the next stint, he got passed by not just Afiq Suhaimi, but also Alvin Chai as well. So he lost out on a possible podium here, but nevertheless, he is still through to the grand finals.
Alright, so tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, nampaknya tamat dah race yang pertama di dalam semi-final Group A. So sebelum kita masuk ke dalam Group B nanti, nampaknya kita ada sedikit interview bersama dengan racer-racer. So Nas, my man, in the main stage, take it away, brother.
Terima kasih Mr. Matthews Isaac, Mr. Victor Kai. Sikit je kita bersama dengan Race 1 champion for Group A, Taj Aiman. Who else could it be? Tepukan untuk Taj Aiman. Nampak macam ada kedu sikit je. Sangka atau tidak sangka? Sebab Dragon Trail ni dia ada cabaran dia tersendiri. Betul tak, Taj?
Betul. Dengan kita dapat kali 12 tire wear and kali 15 dengan fuel kali 12, dia memang mencabar lah dari segi kita nak saving minyak dengan saving tire.
So race management akan menjadi penentunya untuk Dragon Trail Race 1 and 2 ke macam mana?
Saya rasa dalam race pertama ni lah, sebab 15 minit very complicated lah. Either kita ada dua strategi kat situ, either kita nak push ataupun kita nak saving. So kita memang kena compromise lah dengan strategi tu.
Kena kompromi dengan strategi, nampaknya strategi yang tepat di sini. Coming in at P1. Jadi untuk season 2023 ini, anda challenger terdekat anda, champion last year Iqbal Suji, tidak memasuki pertandingan kali ini. Jadi do you think your chances are better this time? Macam mana dengan pendapat anda Group A ini?
Saya rasa semua pencabar yang masuk, walaupun Group A, Group B, diorang ada background yang banyak. Sebelum ni diorang dah masuk tournament yang banyak, ada experience yang diorang telah lakukan dalam GT7 ni. Saya rasa semua pencabar saya lah dalam.
Ini jawapan propa ni. Propa saja ni, cik. Semuanya lawan terdekat. Okeylah, setakat ini kita nampak sambung ya pertikaian bersama dengan Mio Muhammad Hafiz daripada final last year. Jadi adakah Mio menjadi pencabar terdekat anda setakat ini?
Saya rasa Mio ialah antara pencabar saya juga, dan nak katakan semua orang kat sini, semua yang mencabar saya sebenarnya. Ya.
Semuanya mencabar ya. Okey, jadi macam mana pula kita bersama dengan Mio Muhammad Hafiz. Terima kasih Mr. Taj Aiman. Well done. Mungkin kita ada a bit more time untuk kita bertanya kepada Mio Muhammad Hafiz, iaitu coming in at P2. Mio, tahniah kita ucapkan, rupanya strategi untuk tukar tayar dan refuel tepat pada masanya. Pendapat anda untuk race management kali ini? Taj Aiman kata untuk Dragon Trail ini, race management, tires 12 kali dan juga fuel 15 kali ya, lupusan dia. Jadi macam mana?
12.
Oh sorry, fuel 12, tayar yang 15. Okey, jadi pendapat anda tentang track ini dan strategi yang diatur?
Alhamdulillah, strategi berjalan lancar. Boleh dikatakan memang agak tricky lah. Track Dragon Trail dengan tayar 15 kali, minyak 4 kali.
Tapi still fastest lap juga?
Tak ada. Taj Aiman tadi pasal last lap.
Oh ya ke? Oh terlepas that last one.
Tak apa, janji P2.
Jadi nampaknya luka lama berdarah kembali ke? Mungkin ada advantage going into race 2 ni?
Actually saya tak nak take risk sangat, sebab macam ada silau sikit dekat skrin ni.
Oh ya ke?
Dekat dead chicken tu memang berhati-hati sangat lah. Dia takut langgar. Dead chicken tu memang orang paling takut sekali. So saya berhati-hati kat situ. Kat situ saya berhati-hati, kat tempat lain saya tak berhati. Ini ada silau sikit.
Ada silau sikit
dekat skrin.
Oh ya ke? Cewa, mungkin okey kita akan siasat perihal silau atas skrin ni asalkan dia tidak mengacau prestasi Encik Mio ya. Jadi kat sini mungkin soalan terakhir saya, dia nak simpan tenaga untuk hanya setakat sampai ke grand final ke kita nak buat yang terbaik kat sini?
InsyaAllah saya akan buat yang terbaik di grup A ni. Kalau ada rezeki untuk ke grand final, adalah.
Takut ni sebab ni group of death ya. Group A ni adalah group of death. Kebanyakan finalis dan semi-finalis tahun lepas berada dalam kumpulan ini. Jadi pendapat anda?
Oh, memang dikatakan grup maut lah, grup A ni. Tengok semua racer andal-andal, tengok nama, saya pun rasa gerun, takut nak berlumba dengan mereka semua.
Jangan gerun, jangan takut dan jangan lari. Itu dia. The person coming in at P2 leading into race 2 for Group A. Mio Mama Hafiz, tepukan untuk beliau. Well done. Dan nampaknya kita ada third contender juga. Encik Alvin kita yang tak pernah sampai ke tahap ni coming in at P3. So it's going to be an interesting race between the veterans and the rookies. What do the commentators think? Let's go back to the race highlights. Victor, Matthews, what do you guys think of race 1? Over to you.
All right, thank you so much, Nas. And this is the semi-finals highlight. Victor, you have a lot to say about this. I mean, the start was perfect for Mio Hafiz and also Taj Aiman. They were leading all the way together with their pit stop strategy as well. That worked so well for them, giving them a very good edge when it comes to the timing and also being in the front. But what else you have to add throughout the race there?
I mean, again, it was a strategy call, I think, that caused Mio Hafiz to end up behind Taj Aiman. Perhaps he had the fuel a little bit extra coming into it, and can even see, like, from the fuel meter there, that Mio Hafiz carried less fuel compared to Taj Aiman in that first stint. So that naturally made his car a lot lighter, which is why he was able to make the overtake on the Taj Aiman. But the trade-off from that is that when he comes to the pit stop, he has to stay an extra little bit longer in the pits in order to fuel up for his second stint. And I think that is the extra time that allowed Taj Aiman in order to get past, because Taj Aiman, he came in with this and a full tank of gas, which means that on the pit stop, he only had to fuel just a little bit extra, top it up a bit in order to get a second stint out. And so that's why he ended up ahead. So really, it was a strategy call, a brilliant strategy call that shows the level of experience of a driver like Taj Aiman has to make these kind of calls, and knows that this is the way to win it. It doesn't necessarily mean having to make the overtake on the track. You can make the overtake from the pit lane itself.
Absolutely. So that is all that is needed to be talked about earlier on throughout the race. So this is the race results. That is official. So on P1, it is going to be Taj Izrin Aiman will be carrying it 28 points. P2 will be for Mio Muhammad Hafiz with 20 points. P3 for Alvin Chai, 15 points. P4, it's going to be for Muhammad Afif bin Suhaimi, 12 points. P5 for Haris Shami, and that is going to be 11 points for the man. P6, it's going to be for Wan Muhammad Afiq, who will be going back for 8 points. P7, it is going to be for Akil Safi on 6 points. P8, it is none other than Ahmad Asidik with 4 points. P9, Putra Zvira on 2 points. And last but not least, it is going to be Sharizan on P10 with only 1 point. So this is the race results for race 1, Group A, Victor.
Yeah. With the points as it stands right now, they will still have one more chance later on in race 2 to try to add even more to the tally. So even though they did finish in this order here, it's still not definite yet who might get into the grand finals in totality. But consider this, that given that there are 2 races, so you can say that half the work is already done for our drivers here. Now the other half is to complete the whole course here once we get to that reverse grid race 2. But given that it is reverse grid, right, so it means that the guys who have the higher amount of points will be all the way in the back there. So this will be a chance, I think, for the underdogs to try to claw back some of those points and hopefully get themselves allow themselves to secure that coveted spot to the grand finals. And particularly when we see how topsy-turvy everything is from P3 downwards, from Alvin Chai to Afif Suhaimi to Haris Shami, these guys were constantly jostling for positions even until the tail end of the race there. And I expect the same kind of pattern to emerge as well when it comes to race number 2. Now, given the pace we saw from Mio as well as Taj Aiman and the strategy call that we're able to do, I think a lot of drivers will be emulating their strategy coming to the race number 2 here. Of course, it's going to be a slightly longer race. There is the potential for some drivers maybe to consider going for that 2 stop, but I think a lot of eyes is going to be on when exactly both Taj Aiman as well as Mio Hafiz is going to pit, because then the other drivers will want to decide whether they want to try to risk the overcuts, which I feel may not be as like dramatic an effect here. Rather, not say dramatic, but not as a big an advantage advantage. You know, I think it looks like with Mio, Hafiz, and Touch Aiman pitting earlier and ending up with a huge gap compared to everyone else, it seems like the undercut might be the right call instead.
Absolutely, but one thing for sure is that, Victor, I saw, let's put Mio and also Tang Aiman out of this. I think I saw much more entertaining race at the back.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
were fighting for the P5. You know, that was a big thing to actually watch out. But maybe in the reverse grid, they might have a chance. But you never know when you have these two at the back. They could be putting on extra pressure. And as usual, they are really fast, especially Taj and also Mio. But how will the other three, because the other three is the only one that will be qualifying into the grand finals. So how these three will be managing it, that's going to be a very interesting take to actually talk on that.
Now it's going to be a huge test for these guys here because, you know, it's one thing to be the kind of like the fastest in qualifying, you know, but it's also a whole other ball game to be the most consistent in the race. And what we've seen in not just, you know, a series like these, but in motorsports in general, consistency is key. So right now in this longer form race here, the driver is going to be able to maintain, you know, even if it's not the fastest lap time, if it's super consistent compared to everyone else, by and large, they'll probably be like way ahead by the time we get to the end of the race. So that's what we want to see from these guys here, Alvin, Hari Shami, as well as Afi Suhaimi. How consistent can they be in their lap times to make sure that whatever strategy they choose, they will still be able to stay on the top 50% of the grid here in Group A.
Alright, so jadi tuan-tuan dan puan, nampaknya kita sudah pun lihat segala aksi di dalam race yang pertama di dalam Group A. So kita akan masuk ke dalam Group A dan inilah race yang kedua, nampaknya sudah mula, Victor.
Yeah, Putra Azwira leading the whole pack coming in. Sharizan is going to try to chase him on, but he's going to be around the outside. He's going to watch on the inside though as Akiel Salfi is going to try to attack him there, but unfortunately now he switches around quickly into the chicane here. Akiel Salfi is going to have to snake around there, but 3 wide as Alvin Chai slips his way through. He's in P2 now. An amazing move there from Alvin Chai.
Ya, terbaik daripada Alvin Chai sekarang ni berada di dalam P yang kedua dan mereka terus masuk ke dalam Sleko yang kelima. Tapi ini adalah masih lagi awal di dalam race ini, Victor. Kita juga ada all the big guns starting from the back sebab ini adalah reverse grid dan kita masih lagi menggunakan Dragon's Trail di dalam race ini dan inilah race yang akan betul-betul menentukan siapakah yang akan masuk ke dalam grand final. Kita on board bersama dengan Taj Aiman dan juga Mia Hafiz. Mereka bermula daripada garisan ke belakang and let's see how far they will be putting on pressure for these boys who are in the front.
Yeah, they're literally battling for a single point right now in this position 9 and 10, but it's really going to be the long run to see how far they can go, especially under 50 times the simulation rate. But look at that, Taj Aiman just staring on the screen next to him there, trying to get a comparison to see how well he's doing. But look at how chaotic things can get in the back here. Wanafik now trying to go around the inside of Suhaimi there as he try to go into the chicane depth. It's going to be too wide through there. That's going to be incredibly brave. They're going to try to get through, but it looks like they will concede the place there as the city will end up coming up behind Wanafik. He concedes it, and now Wanafik is up into 7th place.
Ya, saya betul-betul suka dengan persembahan daripada Taj Aiman tadi, Victor. He likes to peep on another person's screen. I've never seen this before, but yeah, that is Taj Aiman for you, ladies and gentlemen. Now, right now, we're on board with Mio Hafiz, who is in P10, and we are just finished 1 or 2 minutes right now on the clock, and he might be going into the pits now.
This is interesting. He's going in very early into the pits, so I wonder what this is going about. Maybe he wants to try to top up his fuel because he did carry a lot less, the same amount of fuel that he did in race 1. Perhaps he's going to try to top it up a bit. This is going to be an interesting turn of events here. Let's see how it plays out in the long run. Now, Putra Azwira here leading the pack here is only 2.8 seconds ahead of Alvin Chai, so he's literally pulling away from everyone else here, having such a comfortable lead now, and one wonders how long can he hold up there, especially by the end of this 25-minute long race.
Ya, beliau mempunyai 2 saat lebih berbandingkan Alvin Chai yang berada di dalam P yang kedua. Tetapi inilah battle di dalam P yang kelima. Dan Suhaimi sekarang ni berada di dalam P kelima. Belakang beliau adalah Syahmi. Dan nampaknya pertarungan ini belum lagi tamat, Victor. These two are going all out from just now. Dan kemungkinan Suhaimi ada juga peluang sekarang ni untuk memintas Syarisan yang sekarang ni berada di dalam P yang keempat. Tekanan demi tekanan daripada belakang. Tetapi bagaimanakah Suhaimi akan mengaturkan strategi di dalam Sleko yang ke-12 sekarang ni. Ada peluang untuk Suhaimi di dalam P yang kelima. Dan bagaimana Syarisan tidak juga. Dan nampaknya Suhaimi sudah pun memintas Syarisan, tetapi tidak. Belum lagi.
Not yet.
Belum
It's not
lagi,
done.
Victor.
It's not done.
It's not done yet.
It's Malacca versus Pulau Pinang right now.
Man.
Suhaimi having the inside. He's going to punch it out.
How?
Wow, that is so dangerous to do here in the chicane of death. But Suhaimi survives it, and now it's starting to pull away from Sharizan's car.
Hey, oh man, these guys are taking absolute huge risks in this race, man, and they're still coming out on the top, and that is how it is done for these two. And let's see for how far these two can do this kind of wonderful moves. But ladies and gentlemen, this is the semi-finals, Group A, Race 2 in the Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup Malaysia 2023, and we have a couple of minutes to go. Not just less, there's going to be a long way, but Suhaimi is on P4 now.
As long as Suhaimi knows that Sharizan is very far behind him, he's going to definitely have a lot of relief there, because now Sharizan has a lot more to worry about behind him, because Harishami is starting to gain on him here.
Oh, wow.
Coming through the chicane now, it's going to be very aggressive on the curbs there. It's very bumpy and can easily unsettle the car. But then again, the Supra, it is 1.5 tons, so it's actually quite heavy and actually relatively stable over these curbs, surprisingly. So as aggressively as Harishami is driving right now, he's going to be able to cut right on the inside here, but not able to have the peek through. He still has to give the space there to Sharizan, so no overtake position yet, but Sharizan certainly knows that he is in the danger zone.
Yeah, so Taj Aiman, who got himself in P6 now, Victor. He just came out of nowhere, and right now the speed man is just trying to take over. The man in the front, Sharizan, might not find a way, and Taj Aiman goes into P5 now. How fast is this guy, that Victor?
I think it's a light fuel load that's helping Taj Aiman here. I mean, he is running on medium tires here. Hasn't really worn that tire down too much, considering how much racing how much positions he already made up so far. And this is one of the strengths of Taj Aiman. This is why he's so dominant in GT, right? It's because he's extremely good at managing his tires as well as his pace. And on top of that, you know, being an expert when it comes to Gran Turismo, he knows the ins and outs of a track like this. He knows exactly which lines to take, and he always does it consistently time after time. So you can see that he's already up into 5th place, whereas Muir still not in the top 8 yet.
Ya, so jadi kita akan terus ke dalam seleko yang ke-17, dan ini adalah Taj Aiman sekarang berada di dalam P yang kelima. Di depan dalam 2 saat adalah Suhaimi, dan P ketiga adalah untuk Alvin Chai. Tetapi although we can see it's a 1.7 minutes gap over here, Victor, I'm very sure he will close it down in the nick of time.
So this is a question I have in my mind right now. Is like, what exactly is going to be Muir's game plan from here?
Absolutely.
He pitted quite early on. He carried about 75% of fuel load during the start. So is he aiming to try to go for an extremely long stint here in order to try to undercut everyone basically once they have to come in for the pit stop somewhere around like the 10 or 12 minute mark? So I wonder if that's the long game that Muir is trying to play. So it's like basically taking a bit of a deficit here by going to the pits very early on, but that does mean that maybe he wants to try to outlast everyone on this stint here and perhaps make up positions that way. But I would say it's a very risky strategy, because if he does run out of performance in his tires before reaching that halfway point there, then he's going to be in a massive deficit in terms of pace everyone else. He's going to end up losing time if he does so. So I don't know, it's a very risky strategy from Muir, but let's see if it pays out.
Yeah, that is something that we really need to look forward to. The office will be the talking points later on, but right now all of our focus is going to be in the man in the front, and that is Putra Azwira, and P2 is going to be for Safi, and this is the battle that I've been talking about there. Taj Aiman still keeping up his pace in P5, and Suhaimi knows the danger that's coming right behind him, and Taj Aiman knows how to put a pressure there, and look at how smoothly they exit through the chicane there, Victor. And let's see how good this is going to be as they're coming into turn number 17. This is going to be very crucial one for Taj Aiman to put extra pressure on Suhaimi, and Afik tried to look on the inside there, but Taj Aiman closed the gap immediately when he saw the danger.
Bit of a sneak peek there for Afik, but it looks like all 3 cars might be going into pits now, so it's going to be the 7-minute mark where these guys will go into pits. 5 cars diving into it all at once, so Harishami will be able to benefit out there by just staying out. He's going to be coming into the lead of the race yet again. Siddiq AKK, the Siga Raga, is also in P2 now, but 3.5 seconds behind. He's not going to be able to challenge Harishami for this lead, But now the ball is in his court as
Oh,
he slides
no.
out into the gravel there. Oh no, disaster for Havishami. He needs to get back on track. He does get back on track now, but Siddiq is all over him. He overtakes him past that. Siddiq is now in the lead.
This is not the master plan by him. Look at that, just drifting all out, and he lost so much of time over there. And the man at the back was coming quickly the moment he saw him sliding out. And there you go, Siddiq took the advantage, and off he goes into P1. And now Shami has to chase this man in the front.
Yeah, it's not exactly what he needs to do, because like if he's going to be staying out like this, he needs to make an absolute banger of a lap here, so they can stay ahead and keep up with the rest of the guys who went into the pits just now. So that completely lost him a lot of time, and also has conceded the lead here to Ahmad Siddiq. So this is a disaster here for Harishami. He's going to have to try to make up for that plan here. Now Mio Hafiz, by virtue of having pitted early, now he's up in the P3. So this looks like it's going according to the plan right now. Speaking of plans, Harishami just got past Siddiq now, so he's reclaimed the lead of this race here. But no doubt the loss of time there due to the crash of the wall is certainly going to play in his mind a little bit.
Ya, sudah pun tamat 9 minit sekarang ni, dan nampaknya Siddiq sekarang ni berada di dalam P yang kedua. Shami masih lagi berada di hadapan, dan baru saja kita lihat this overtake yang sangat-sangat baik daripada Shami, and it looks like he's need to be maintaining this for a long time in the front there, Victor, as they're coming into turn at number 17. And how about the rest of the other packs? They're coming pretty much all the way at the back, but these two haven't pitted yet there, Victor.
Yeah.
Look at that fuel, it's blinking already.
Yeah, he is literally riding on the line, but he's just entered the pit entry, so he's just made it in time. So now he's going to have to refuel up until a full tank here, and let's see how long he'll be able to last here. I think given given the amount of like pit stops we're seeing here, I think the two-stop strategy might just be the right call here. But with Mio Hafiz, going a little bit out of step there by pitting so early on, is that going to be a huge advantage for him later on here? Because he's ahead of Taj Ayman so far, but now that he's got in the pits, Taj Ayman now is upgraded to third place, a position that Mio Hafiz was in early on in the pits here. So he's going to have his work cut of him for Mio Hafiz here. He's going to have a lot of cars to get through, and still not quite done. Taj Ayman attacking around the outside, making sure he stays ahead of Suhaimi, who is under attack for Alvin Chai at the same time. They're jostling for P4 just behind Taj Ayman, but Taj is just going to be cruising through and straight away pulls away from these two.
I think at this moment they really not need to think about Taj Ayman. All they need to think about is this P5 that is going to be very important for them to qualify. And Alvin Chai is still keeping up against Suhaimi Wright, who's in front of him. But let's see how far that Alvin Chai needs to do this, because we are just down to 10 minutes. We have another 15 minutes to go in our race 2. This is the deciding race that will take them to the grand finals. Up or not, this is Alvin Chai in P5, and we're having on board with him. And let's see what's going to be coming up in the next few turns that will be coming up.
Alvin has his eyes very much set on the guy just behind him, one Afik, who is now coming on the attack here. Alvin, who had finished P3 in race number 3, has managed to make his way up into P5 now, and this is going to be a good baseline for him. But I think if he wants to feel even safer, he might want to try to keep attacking Suhaimi for the lead here. But now he's having to defend against the guy just behind him, so that's going to eat into his ability to try to catch up with the rest of the pack, because he has to play defensive every time they come into these corners here. And one Afik, he's just watching Alvin Chai and waiting for a moment to capitalize here. He's going to have a little bit of a pick on the inside, tries to outbreak him, and on elbow his way through. They will be side by side here, but one Afik seems to be that a little bit faster. He's going to be up ahead in P5 by the time they come out of the last turn.
Nampaknya Alvin Chai kena mengejar Suhaimi sekarang ni. Afik yang sekarang ni berada di dalam P yang kelima, Victor. But I have a biggest question right now. Where is Mio Hafiz now? Is he running on hard or what?
I have no idea. We haven't quite seen him yet.
Yes.
He's not in the top 8 at the moment. So I think he's either in P9 or P10 now. Which, and again, seriously, I really want to know why he went for that pit stop in the first lap. Did he make a wrong setup, or he had to correct some mistake there? It's a real big mystery right now. But what's for certain though is that Taj Ayman, he's already up in the podium here. So based on the progress that he's made so far in this race, he's absolutely on pace now. 12 minutes and 15 seconds now. We are approaching the halfway point.
Yeah, another few more minutes, I believe. Taj Ayman will be going in the front as well. This man has some beast level of speed, and this is the man that everyone puts their bets on. So Taj Ayman, tuan-tuan dan puan, sekarang ini berada di dalam P yang ketiga. Anda sedang lihat semifinals. Ini adalah Group A, race yang kedua, race yang akan menentukan siapakah yang akan layak ke dalam grand final. Suhaimi kemungkinan boleh saja memberikan sedikit tekanan kepada Touch Aiman, tetapi lepas kita tahu Touch Aiman adalah seorang pelumba yang agak luar biasa dari segi talent beliau, ini menunjukkan why he is still the best in the industry so far there, Victor.
Yeah, everyone is now just
Look at
very
helicopter.
focused on this like tire management puzzle that they have to solve here. But so far, the soft tire has been holding up very, very well for these guys here. So I think they're just doing their level best in this phase of the race to make sure they don't extend their tires here, to make sure they can have as long as a stint as possible. And then perhaps if they run out of fuel towards the end, which I think that might be the case here, what they want to try to do is to save as much performance on the tires so that by the time they have to go for the next pit stop, it's only going to be a splash and go. They just only need to top up a bit of fuel and then just run to the end. You know, without having to go for the tire change means they have to take less time in the pits, and it's just a question of how much fuel can they save before they have to go for the next pit stop.
Ya benar, so nampaknya strategi pit stop dan juga tire management sangat-sangat important sekarang ni, tetapi fuel management juga is going to be another deciding factor. So nampaknya Mio Hafiz sekarang ni berada di dalam P yang ke-9, akhirnya muncul juga di dalam top 10, Victor. Setelah hilang lama, dan sekarang saya pun tidak tahu apakah strategi beliau and why he went for that early pit stop. That is something that we will later on maybe have Nas to talk about. But Mio Hafiz right now on P9, and we have another almost about 15 minutes to go there, Victor. Will he able to chase? That is going to be another question that we do not have an answer.
He certainly has a lot more fuel than everyone else, though. So that's one thing.
He's on a half tank there, Victor.
Still on half tank,
Yeah.
and I think we saw Touch Aiman, he was only on a quarter tank left, but certainly less wear on his tires, though. Mio Hafiz, by virtue of like having to run a much longer stint here, is already almost halfway done with his front left tire here. So now he's just gonna have to play the long game here. He's gonna have to hold out as long as possible, and the extra amount of fuel that he has here is certainly gonna be able to help him stay out a lot longer and hopefully be able to make some gains that way. But being out of sync like this means that there's not really a very easy way for him to make a good comparison between the front runners right now, as in how well he's doing compared to them, right? So this is gonna be very hard. All of it is just gonna be up to Muir here, just trusting his ability behind the wheel to make sure that he's very consistent in his lap times, make sure he doesn't lose too much time in his efforts now to catch up to the rest of the pack. Now the pit stops are coming true for the top 3, the top 4 now. They are going in for the next stint here. Alvin Chai looks like he's going to be staying out, so that means that he's going to be inheriting a lead now. Mio Hafiz continues to go through. He's going to get to catch up to the slipstream of Siddiq now, so the Siga Raga under attack
He's
here.
definitely gonna get
True
it.
turn 1, but I think Mio Hafiz will have the move done even before they have to start turning the wheel.
Yeah, now he's on P3. Siddiq, no chance for him. And it seems like Mio Hafiz takes into P3. He's on podium position. But looking at his fuel there, Victor, he might needs to go into the pits now.
Oh,
Very shortly later.
I think he can still go up for at least one lap
One
or two.
more, yeah.
So not quite in trouble there for him. It's just more the tires I'm worried about for him here. He probably might end up just running these tires to the rim here in order to stay out in these stints. And that presents a lot of risk here, especially for this specific car, which is a lot heavier, you know, even compared to the GR Yaris that we saw in the quarterfinals yesterday. So a lot of things for these drivers to contend with, but this is why they're here. You know, they are the best of the best when it comes to Gran Turismo in Malaysia, and they are looking to prove themselves out on track here.
Yep, so jadi kita mempunyai lebih kurang daripada 18 minit sekarang ni, Victor, dan kita on board bersama dengan Siddiq yang kemungkinan boleh saja melakukan sesuatu yang istimewa terhadap Mio Hafiz. Cuba memberikan tekanan daripada garisan ke dalam dan cuba untuk dinafikan di situ adalah Mio Hafiz, dan berjaya menafikan gerakan beliau di situ dan masih lagi mengekalkan racing line yang sangat-sangat baik, dan mereka baru saja exit daripada chicane dan terus menuju ke dalam seleko yang ke-17 dan ada sedikit bump di situ, but that is not going to be a huge problem for both of them. They know what they're doing, but now Mio Hafiz really needs to be careful over here, as Siddiq might be looking on the inside now, and Hafiz just closed the gap for him. There's no way, man. His experience is just so huge, and he knows how to do this in and out. And
Into
he's
the
going to
pits.
the pits now.
Into the pits now. So he was already in the red, so that's going to be a scheduled spot for him now. Afi Suhaimi, he's going to cut on the inside of Putra Azwira to make sure he stays in P6 here. He's likely going to climb up paces with everyone else being in the pits now. So Touch Ayman inherits the lead yet again. Afi Suhaimi will be in P2 and Putra Azwira at P3 as they come across the line here. So you can see the lead is just changing constantly because of the variance in pit strategies here between these drivers. So who's going to be the one who ends up on top there? I really can't say
no
at this
idea,
point.
man.
You know, I think it's still going to be a race here between Touch Ayman, between Putra Azwira, Afif Suhaimi, but even Mio Hafiz may still be in this
Surprise
game
us
here.
all, yeah.
Depending on how his strategy pans out. But at the moment, you know, once Mio comes out of the pit, he's still out of the top 8. So again, the strategy he's calling his mate here is just giving him the hardest job compared to every other racer, I feel.
Yeah, he took a very huge risk, and it might pay off, it might not pay off. That is going to be under the pressure of him there. But right now, we're having a look on Putra Azwira, who's on P3. And the man is chasing the man in the front. That is none other than Ahmad Shaimi. And Shaimi's just maintaining his lead there with the gap that he has with 4 seconds, 4.9 seconds right behind there. And let's see if he's able to do something. And this is the man in the front. He's having a vacation, Devington, and how fast he could go. And he just got himself in P1. And that is the best timing he also has with 1.47.866. That is Taj Isrin Ayman, as you can see on the bottom. Look at him.
Pull straight up into the edge of the wall there for Touch Ayman. But I gotta say, like, in terms of drivers who were able to make the most amount of progress in race number 2 here, it's definitely gotta go to Afif Suhaimi here. I mean, he finished in P5 when it came to race 1, started in P6 in this race, and then now we're coming into the final stint here, possibly with about 6 minutes to go now. Afif Suhaimi is already on P2, just 5 seconds behind Touch Ayman. So I think in terms of strategy, he might have just nailed the golden strategy here.
I think during the IGN, his name was Taichi, right?
Yes, Taichi
Yeah,
Agami.
this is Taichi that we're talking about. Afif Suhaimi, only aged 29, and he's been in the sim racing since 2018. So that's a couple of years there for him on the experience. But man, he's just putting on a really good show. But yeah, you have something to say there, Victor.
Even what's even funnier, like I had spoken to Afif Suhaimi even yesterday itself, and you know what he told me? He only started practicing back on Gran Turismo because he's actually been competing in other racing series, right?
Yeah.
But he's only started practicing in Gran Turismo just last month.
Oh, just last
month. And now he's come back into this competition again. To be fair to him, he did compete in the first edition of the Velocity Championships, right? But the fact is, this guy, he's so confident in his skills that he only needs 1 month of practice just to come to this big event. Think about that.
Well, talking about confidence, there you go. The man is in P2 there, Victor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so another 5 more minutes to go. 5 minit saja yang berbaki di dalam race ini, tuan-tuan dan puan. Ini adalah Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup Malaysia 2023, dan kita sekarang berada di dalam perlumbaan penentuan ataupun race 2, the final race to find out who is going to be the grand finalist di dalam race ini. And top 5 Anda boleh lihat di dalam bahagian kiri, Touch Ayman berada di dalam P yang pertama, P kedua adalah untuk Suhaimi, P ketiga Putra Azwira, P keempat adalah Saufi, P kelima untuk Afik.
Now, these guys will have to hope, you know, that their fuel management skills as well as their strategy call is going to be enough to make them last out these final 4 minutes of the race here. You know, when it comes to races like this, it's always going to be divided into several phases, right? The first phase being like the start of the race where you jostle for positions. The second phase where you start to play out your strategy and try to see how you need to adapt and what you need to try to make up for. But the final phase of the race here, which is when you're in the last stint and you're all sprinting to the finish line, this is where the real race starts, right? This is where all the decisions that you made in the first 10 to 15 minutes of the race, this is where it all is going to come to head now. And if you made any mistakes, you know, in that first couple of phases, this is where it's all going to hurt so bad. And that's why you can see the huge gulf here between Touch Ayman and Mio Hafiz. Mio Hafiz had to pit in that first lap. It's either it was a strategy call that he made for some reason, or it might even just be a mistake on his part. So if it was a mistake, it's so costly here, especially when you see that Touch Ayman, who started alongside him in the race, is already up in the lead.
Ya, betul, itu akan memberikan tekanan yang agak tinggi kepada seperti apa Victor mengatakan tadi, bahawa Mio Hafiz kemungkinan strategi itu tidak berfungsi dengan baik. Tetapi kita akan terus memberikan fokus di dalam top 5 kita, dan kita on board bersama dengan Putra Azwira. Kita mempunyai lebih kurang 3 minit sekarang ni yang berbaki di dalam race ini, Victor. Dan nampaknya inilah racer-racer kita yang kemungkinan kemungkinan akan layak ke dalam Grand Final jika mereka tidak mendapatkan penalti di dalam last 3 minutes ni. So Putra Zwira in P3 at this moment, and right in front of him is going to be Suhaimi. I mean, it's quite interesting to see how, oh, look at this. Afiq might have a chance now, but Alvin Chai just keeping him at bay and not letting him in the front. And this is going to be a battle to watch there, Victor.
Yes, Alvin Chai now defending P5 with his absolute life here. He finished in P3, so he does have a decent haul of points, but with how topsy-turvy everything is in race 2, it may not even be definite that he'll be able to get into the grand final. So if anything, he wants to stay in P5 by the end of this 25 minutes here, and that means having to hold off this attack coming in from one Muhammad Afiq every single time. So this is going to be quite a tall order here, but Alvin, you know, having shown a lot of talent and a lot of potential here, I think he might just have what it takes.
Yeah, so coming into turn number 1, the long straight, and there's someone's going in the pits there. It's going to be Putra Zwira, Suhaimi, and also Afiq going into the pit. So that's going to be changing the positions on the left over here. Alvin Chai goes up to P3 now, and we have another 2 more minutes to go, Victor. And some of them are already in almost at the end of their fuel. And let's see, there is going to be anything that is going to be eye-opening in the final few minutes.
Oh, that might be just a blow here, because I think like having taken a pit stop this late in the race means that they might have just ran out of fuel, or are worried about running out of fuel at the end of the race, which is what they don't want to happen. So they're just going to take a pit stop just to be safe. But that means that Suhaimi from P2? Yeah, P2 early on, he's now down into P6, but that's good news actually for Mio Hafiz, because now he's in P5.
He's in P5, yeah, he just made it somehow.
Yeah,
and here we go, Alvin Chai putting on the pressure, and Southie needs to be careful as they're coming into turn number 10. This could be absolutely crucial, and maybe Alvin Chai might be looking on the outside, and he might just overtake this man, and he overtakes, goes into P2, leaving Southie behind as they come into turn 12. Southie needs to work himself again, and Alvin Chai got himself into P2.
If there's like the ability for us to give an MVP award, I'll give it to Alvin Chai straight away. This guy is entertaining us non-stop in these races.
I mean, he's a standout racer so far there, man. I mean, forget about Taj Aiman, who's just in front. You know, he's an alien. We're not going to be comparing aliens up against humans, you know? So let's talk about what humans are doing right now. And Alvin Chai is a man to watch, and Southie just got bamboozled by this man who is in P2. Entertainment is what you call him, and 1 more minute to go is where the race ends.
Yeah, look at that. No, he's going to come across the line, I think, even before the 25 minutes is over.
Wow.
So this will be the actual final lap here. So Alvin already being by virtue of a hit. Oh, and everyone else going to get getting through here, and we'll take the checkered flag instead. So Touch Aiman still has to go for 1 more lap. Oh no. Boy. Oh well, this is going to be an interesting one.
Absolutely. And there you go, Touch Aiman, who's now going to go into the final lap. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the final lap now, as they're coming into the last couple of turns. And Afiq right now on P8. What happened to Siddiq? They're slowing down there, Victor.
He's slowing down, yeah, but I think he was already being lapped by that point now. But they're taking the checkered flag anyway here. So that means that Taj Aiman, he's still going at race pace right now, because technically the race is not done for him, even though everyone else behind him is already finished. So Taj Aiman just doing a parade lap right now, the only one on track to be able to do so. But man, I think this guy has done more than enough to show to everyone why he has been the champion back-to-back in 2020 and 2021. This guy has so much ability behind him. Even just getting over the curb and going out of shape there doesn't phase him in the slightest at all.
I mean, I was right when I was comparing him to aliens and also humans. So here we go. We have a huge comparison between Taj Aiman and also the rest of the other racers. But Taj Aiman has been absolutely phenomenal from the start of the race there, Victor. Although he started from a reverse grid, he was all the way at the back alongside with Mio, but Mio went into the pits a little bit early. I was expecting a high-intensity battle between Mio and also Taj Aiman, but the strategy worked the other way around, and Mio had to go into the pits very early, leaving Taj Aiman going all out with his strategy that he actually trust, and he got himself all the way into P1, and that shows how amazing of a racer he is. He has been overtaking the rest of the other packs, got himself in front, and now he's doing a parade lap out of nowhere as he comes into the checkered flag. Taj Aiman wins race 2, and this man has been unstoppable from the start. And congratulations to Taj Aiman. What a race it has been.
Wow, I mean, It's crazy that he had to go for that one extra lap if he didn't
No
have
way,
enough
man.
fuel to make it to the end there. How awkward it would have been, right?
Yeah, tell me
But
about it.
Congratulations again, Taj Ayman. Back-to-back wins here in Group A. Dominated the first race, dominated the second race as well. What an absolute haul of points he's going to be getting here. Certainly is guaranteed a slot to the grand finals, but man of the race here has got to be Alvin Chai.
Alvin Chai.
P2 in race number 2, P3 in race number 1. He's certainly done more than enough to show that he is a top contender coming to this grand finals here. I'm going to be looking forward to a lot to come out for Alvin in tomorrow's races.
So ladies and gentlemen, this is the provisional result. Ini adalah result provisional dan nampaknya tempat pertama adalah untuk Taj Ayman, tempat kedua Alvin Chai, tempat ketiga Safi, tempat keempat adalah Syamei, tempat kelima jatuh kepada Mio Hafiz. Somehow Mio Hafiz made it into the top 5, but we will be looking forward later on the official results, Victor.
Everything, like track position wise, is all provisional, guys. So this is still not definite yet that every one of them is going to the grand finals. The best they could do is just finish as high as possible, and they will give them the highest possibility for them to get the main event. So the thing is that now it's going to be the job of our race director, Alex Yeo, as well as our representative from MAN, Razli, to go ahead and filter through all the protests there to figure out what the official results is. But we will be able to give that to you when it comes up live.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, I think the race is over in the Group A, and we already saw who actually qualified into the grand final provisionally, but we haven't got the official results yet. But what a race it has been there, Victor. But talk us through a little bit about what went wrong for Mio there.
Oh, that's why I'm suspecting here at this point that it might have been a mistake on his part. Maybe he didn't put in the right setup or the right amount of fuel. Maybe he had the wrong set of tires. Who knows at this point? I think we're gonna hopefully, if we get an interview with him later on with Nas, maybe he might be able to shed light on what exactly happened in that opening lap. But if in the case that if it was an actual intentional decision for him to take that first lap pit stop, I don't think it was the right call at all. So
I was very surprised.
Yeah, so I'm thinking it's probably like 70-80% probably a mistake on Mio's part. But if it was a mistake, with how everything turned out, him finishing P5, not a bad recovery actually. So certainly he might still have a good chance of getting into the main event. Maybe he'll be able to make up for the mistake there, and hopefully start to come back and become an even stronger competitor to Taj Ayman. Because as far as you can see from the pace of race 1 already, we know that Mio Hafiz has a capability to be a champion. But is this going to be his year now? That's the question.
That is going to be a huge question. So tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, nampaknya sudah pun tamat race yang kedua, dan kita pun sudah ada beberapa nama yang akan layak ke dalam grand final. Tetapi kita akan interview bersama dengan racer-racer yang berada dalam top 5. And over to you, Nas, to take on the interviews. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, dear commentators. And right here on the podium, well, we talk about Taj Ayman, who's had an awesome race 1 and race 2, 1 foot in the final. But the other man of the hour right here, kepada anda yang tak tahu, inilah dia, Alvin Chai. 2 podium finishes, race 1 and race 2. Last year and the year before, making it not too bad. Last year he didn't make an appearance at the GT Cup, and this year you are back in the same stage, 1 foot in the grand final. So what do you think of the 2 races so far?
Very nervous.
Did you expect to be here at this stage?
I didn't expect to be in the podium. And then, first of all, I want to thank my teammate over there.
Where the fleur? Woo! Alvin Chai supporters.
We train very hard, and then they give me a very good strategy. So I just work it out and then work my own plan, and then just don't carry away.
Well, of course, Taj Ayman is right there up in the front, leading in the first race. And from the back all the way to the front, Group A is the group of death. Who is your biggest contender?
Of course, Taj Ayman, Mio Hafiz. And actually, the whole group, everyone is the heavyweight. So we just have to play our own game to the maximum capacity using.
Do you regret being placed here in the group of death?
A bit, but then there's no choice. You just have to work hard and then get the result done.
All right, results done means 2 podium finishes from the back to the front as well. Alvin Chai, ladies and gentlemen. Another person we'd like to interview as well, other than Taj Ayman. Well, Taj Ayman really taking his foot to the metal. Meanwhile, we'll go over to driver number 7, Akil Saufi first time here at the semi-finals. Is this true? It's second time in the semi-finals. When was the last time you were here at this stage?
I was here last year in 2022.
2022, and this time, people might say you are one of the favorites of the top 5 to go into the grand final. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm not sure because my pace isn't there, but I've studied some of the field strategies, so I hope they work. Like just now, I just did a 2-stopper. Most people did a 3-stop, I think, so I think I did quite a good job there.
You took quite a bit of a risk. I think the commentator said that as well. Wow, 2-stop strategy, and of course, riding your luck all the way till the end. The race 3 is coming up. You think you're going to do the same?
I was up until like 3 a.m. yesterday. I was trying to do a bit of different field strategies, so I hope they work. So there is a possibility for me to go to the grand finals. That's what I'm trying to say.
And he's trying to say that he's keeping his cards close to his chest. That's for sure. And mungkin lah kita nak tanya sebab Group A ni is Group of Death as well. Who is your strongest contender besides Taj Aiman, of course?
Honestly, Azvira is always my contender, I think. He's really fast. That's all I'm going to say. Taj Aiman is obvious Taj Aiman. Mio Hafiz is Mio Hafiz, so that's all I'm going to say.
Well, Putra Azwira was the finalist last year as well, and I remember him running a really good race in the grand finals. And this time around, for the qualifying into the grand finals, I think Putra Azwira's timing has been lacking this past couple of races. What do you think? Do you have a chance this time around?
Honestly, I think he's hiding something. He's obviously really fast, so I don't know. He can turn around, I think.
Wow, respect to your main competitor. Well done, Akhil. Best of luck in race 3. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 races already for Group A. It's one more race to determine who will make it to the grand finals for a chance at 25,000 ringgit. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the race highlights. How did it go for race 2 for Group A? Back to you, commentators, Victor Cax and Matthew Sizek. Over to you guys.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we're back again, and this is the race highlights from race 2, Group A. And what a start it has been for these boys in the front there, and also the boys at the back who finished in P1, P2, and P3 in the race 1. But what really happened over here there, Victor? They were always sandwiching from the start, but somehow got into the positions that they needed in the final few laps.
Yeah, Alvin just basically like swiped 2 positions there in the chicane. A brilliant bit of racecraft he managed to do there. We saw Selfie as well as Sharizan just fighting each other for that position. He found a line in the 3rd corner and managed to get his way through. Then from that point on, I think like considering everything, this is where Sharizan had an unfortunate spin there, but didn't end up affecting him too much, although he got past later on there by Selfie in that race here. But Alvin, he has been through it through. I think the biggest standout, I think, here in Group A. I think also in terms of like who really benefited a lot out of this verse grid, it was certainly going to Putra Azwira. Like he started in the front row in race number 2 here, but then ended up still managed to finish somewhere in the top here. So again, a really good race here for everyone involved. Later on, when it comes to race number 3 here, we want to see how these drivers will adapt, because it's going to be a slightly different conditions, slightly different car. But nevertheless, for these drivers here, they've done their level best now to make a case for why they deserve a place in the grand finals tomorrow.
All right, so that is all the information that we saw from the race highlights, and this is the official result. So there you go. And seems like P1 will be for Taj Izrin Aiman, carrying 25 points again. P2, it is going to go for Alvin Chai with 18 points. P3, Akhil Selfie with 15 points. P4 is going to go for Harish Shami with 12 points. P5, it's Mio Mohammad Hafiz with 10 points. P6, for Afif bin Suhaimi with 8 points. P7, Putra Azwira on 6 points actually. P8 is going to go for Wan Mohammad Afiq with 4 points. P9, it is going to be Ahmad Siddiq in 2 points. And last but not least, is going to be for Sharizan on P10 with only 1 point. But look at the dominant points that Taj Izrin Aiman has been collected there, Victor.
Yeah, here we go. This is going to be the results after 2 races there. So Touch Izrin Ayman, having extra
53
points there
points.
for the first race. I mean, 53 points is such a huge lead. This is like a Max Verstappen kind of run, isn't it? Especially in 2023. So perhaps his Malaysian brother for another mother may be able to gain a similar level of glory here this weekend. Albin Chai, wow, what an amazing run he had. Back-to-back podiums here, and suddenly it has emerged as a dark horse, certainly in this group now. So Muhammad Hafiz, he had an abysmal second race, relatively speaking, but nevertheless a good recovery to ensure that he stays in at P3. Now looking down the list here, Harishami currently in 4 with 23 points. His name, Akil Salvi, aches away into P5 now compared to Afif bin Suhaimi by a single solitary point. So you know that Suhaimi is going to have to do a lot of his work cut off of him later on in race 3. Muhammad Afik taking P7, Putra Azwira in P8 right now, Ahmad Asidik bin Ahmad Jamsuri currently in P9, and Sharizan Hassan, the Penang representative in Group A, 1 of 2 in fact, will be taking that final spot there. So there's still one more race to go here, ladies and gentlemen. So there's still not quite definite yet who's going to be coming to semifinals. But I would say though, Taj Ayman, very, very safe with that huge points lead here. Even if he doesn't win race number 3, if he gets a handsome enough amount of points there, that would be certainly enough to at least get him that slot. But now for Harishami, for Alfi Suhaimi, as well as Akiel, Salfi, these guys are a little bit on that danger zone, still being hovering around at P5 there. So I'm expecting these guys to be pushing absolutely to the limit when it comes to race 3, because they are the ones who absolutely need the points here.
Absolutely. So those are all the information and also details that we can get into the race 1, especially in Group A. So it seems like we'll be going into Group B very, very shortly. But before that, let's have a look on the screen as we're about to find out all the extra things that's coming up right now.
Hi, my name is Iqbal Suji. I'm the reigning champion of the Toyota GR Velocity Esports Championship, now known as Toyota GR GT Cup Malaysia. And I'm very excited about defending my title at the Grand Finals from the 18th to the 20th of August. Once again, we will get to experience a multitude of cars that the Gazoo Racing brand has. So, let's take a look at which exciting vehicles we will see at this year's tournament. The GR Yaris has proven itself to be a worthy champion on the stages of the World Rally Championship. And this homologation special road variant is no slouch either, as its great handling will bode well with the slopes and hilly nature of Laguna Seca in the quarterfinals. It will be interesting to see how racers will respond to the GR Yaris RZ around Laguna Seca's famous elevation changes. The climb up to the corkscrew and the descent will be a crowd-pleasing shot. And what's unique about the GR Yaris RZ is its electronically controlled differential adjustment, which distributes torque from front to rear. On to the 2020 GR Supra RZ. Toyota's flagship sports car model made waves in the automotive scene and is ready to tackle anything. In our first semifinals, we'll be taking the Supra to a now fan-favorite track in the Gran Turismo series at the scenic Dalmatian coastline. Racers will have to maneuver the GR Supra RZ around Dragon Trail's fast, technical layout. It employs a classic sports car recipe done properly. Lightweight, a rear-wheel drive, and finely balanced. What's special about this car is its inline-6 engine that produces up to 382 brake horsepower that pushes the car upwards of 300 kilometers per hour. In our second semifinals, we'll see racers in the 86 Group B rally car in an idyllic town. This car and track combo wouldn't look out of place given the fact that Alsace once hosted stages for the WRC's Rallye de France. Here, racers will have to respond to the car's mighty acceleration and power in the varying corners around Alsace. The 86 Group B rally car is Gran Turismo's modern interpretation of a Group B rally car, but with more safety features. It also features aerodynamic enhancements such as a 2-layered rear spoiler for maximum downforce. For the first of the 2 finals, our 10 racers will be driving the GR Supra Racing Concept on one of America's best road courses, Watkins Glen International. It is a great car and track combo that guarantees to be an engaging spectacle, as we'll see the Supra around Watkins Glen's fast sweepers. The GR Supra racing concept was designed with LMGTE regulations in mind. It is also interesting to note that the new GT500 and GT300 iterations won in Super GT, their first time out at Fuji in 2020. The World Endurance Championship winning Toyota GR10 Hybrid features in the second final and is a car befitting of the occasion. We'll find out who our champion is in this very car. It features a hybrid system that produces a combined 939 brake horsepower in 4-wheel drive package, 671 brake horsepower from the engine, and 268 brake horsepower from the electric motors. Let's see how racers will respond in the GR10 Hybrid and its hybrid system brake regeneration at Spa. It is definitely a championship-winning car. The Toyota's Le Mans Hypercar won the 24 Hours of Le Mans in its first year of competition. All in all, it has won 2 24 Hours of Le Mans, 2 WEC Constructors Championships, and 2 WEC Drivers Championships. There you have it, an absolutely fine selection of machinery that the Toyota Gazoo Racing brand has to offer at this year's championship. Join us on the 19th and 20th of August for our live semi-finals and finals at Sunway Pyramid to see what these cars are all about and who will walk away with the title of Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup Malaysia Champion. We'll see you on the virtual racetracks.
Baiklah, itu dia sedikit taklimat daripada Iqbal Soji, 2022 champion. Itulah dia jentera-jentera yang bakal digunakan oleh pelumba-pelumba kita. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for Group B? 10 more semi-finalists trying to duke it out and book their place in the grand finals. Who are the drivers for Group B? Let's introduce them onto their sims one by one. Introducing our first driver from Group B, last year's semi-finalist making his way here again, Muhammad Kamal bin Muhammad Ali. AJ Muhammad Kamal, you are at sim number 10. Congratulations on making it here once again. Our next driver, also last year's semi-finalist, Muhammad Hakim bin Suhaimi. Let's go! AJ Muhammad Hakim, you are at sim number 9. Congratulations on making it this far. Our next driver, last year's finalist, Chong Kai Chang. Welcome back, Mr. Chong. Another shot at 25,000 ringgit. You are at machine number 8. And next driver, let's welcome Chow Jenye. Let's go. Mr. Chow, you are seated at sim number 7. Best of Malaysian luck. Our next driver, his name is Chiam Yong Le. Let's give him a big round of applause. Mr. Chiam. Mr. Chiam, you are situated at sim number 6. Good luck. Our next driver, put your hands together for Lau Wui Kit. Congratulations on making it to the semi-finals. Mr. Lau, you are at sim number 5. Best of luck. Our next driver, let's welcome Wayne Go on stage. Mr. Wayne. Stylish man, you are at sim number 4. Our next driver, also a top contender, last year's semi-finalist and also finalist, Danish Wigneshwaran. A very confident young driver. Let's see whether he's learned his lesson. Let's see how you do in this semi-final this year. Our next contender was a semi-finalist last year. His name is Chandra Mauli Anandan. And this time he aims to go one further by booking his place in the grand finals. You're at machine number 2. Over to you. And our final contender, first time right here in the semi-finals, Muhammad Shafiq bin Omar Ali. Congratulations on making it this far. You are at machine number 1. There you are, ladies and gentlemen. Big round of applause for the drivers of Group B, who will be making it to the grand finals for a chance at 25,000 ringgit. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the briefing for our drivers. What's the race format like? Dragon tail, front and reverse, but all the details are with Mr. Victor Cax and Matthews Isaac. Over to you guys.
All right, thank you so much, Nas. And this is the race format all over again. So it is going to be 5 minutes qualifying and a 15-minute sprint race. And is there any other extra details that you want to add on over here, Victor?
Just feels like deja vu. Have I been in this place before? Really? Again, same kind of format it was for Group A as well, because it's literally going to be the same kind of competition for these guys. What's going to be different this time around, though, is going to be the ballots that were chosen for these couple of races here. Now, for race 1, Group B, their tire simulation is going to be at 10 times the normal rate, and fuel is going to be 8 times the normal rate. That's slightly less compared to race 1 for Group A here. The other thing that makes it less complicated for these guys here is that the weather condition is going to be sunny at 1 p.m. So, whereas like race 1 for Group A, that was literally in cloudy conditions. So that gave that adds extra like randomness in terms of wind, speed, and direction. Which the thing is that for this condition here, it wouldn't be the case for Group B. Now for race number 2, though, it is similar actually to Group A's race 2 conditions. 5 times the simulation rate for tires, 12 times the simulation rate for fuel, and the weather is going to be at 10 a.m. Sunny. So it's going to be a perfect condition here for them. So it's going to be a more direct comparison you can make for race 2 for Group B compared to Group A here.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is the race format. 25 minutes to go, and that is the entire thing that we really need to look onto it. But Victor, up next, we will be having a look on this there.
Yeah,
We go, and that is the track setup. It's going to be the same Dragon's Trail Seaside again, consisting of 18 turns in total, and it's going to be with 5.2 kilometers long. And of course, tarmac is going to be the road type. Fantasy, it's not an actual track, but this track has really, really good challenging corners.
It's got a bit of everything, really. Like, the first sector reminds me a lot of, like, the modern sort of F1 circuits. The second sector is a little bit more traditional with, like, elevation changes as well as fast sweeping corners. Then the final sector is kind of like a street track, you know, with the chicane of death and the walls leading into the tunnel. So there's a little bit of everything here, but what's key is that a lot of fast sections allow these drivers, especially in this spec series that is the GD Cup, you know, it allows these guys to get plenty of draft off of each other if they can follow closely enough. Now, when it comes to strategy, though, we're seeing a huge variety of that, and that is no less because of the car that we're using here, the GR Super RZ from 2020, max power 382 brake horsepower, 500 nanometers of torque, a very torquey and very fast accelerating machine here, despite the fact that it weighs 1.5 kilograms, which is slightly more than the regular passenger car. So it is a heavy car, but it has the horsepower to back it up.
Yep, so that is the car setup. So let's have a look on the next one, and the next one is going to be the prize pool, of course, the one that you have been looking for. The champion will be bringing home 25,000. The second place is going to be bringing home 15,000. Third place is going to be bringing home 10,000 ringgit. And the fourth place is going to be 7,500. Fifth place, 5,500. Sixth place, 4,500. Seventh place, 4,000. Eighth place, 3,500. Ninth place, 3,000. 10th place, 2,500. And from 11th all the way to 20, we'll be bringing home 1,000 ringgit each.
Yeah, so it's a 500 ringgit split all the way from 10th to 6th place, and then it's going to be 1,000 ringgit jump up from that point on, and then from there is another 1,005, and then from there on it just increases exponentially until you get to the main prize of 25,000 ringgit. And it's such a coveted prize. Like, there's no other sim racing tournament in Malaysia that pays out this much, even in esports, right? This is a huge amount of prize money here on the line. So that's why everyone, starting from the qualifiers, time attack online, would just vying to get themselves in here. But only 40 will only be able to race here on the stage here, and of that, only 20 remain here, 10 of which are currently racing in Group B.
Yeah, so having a look on our semi-final, this is Group B, so there you go. We see all the way from Penang, it's going to be Lowell Kit, and in the second position, we see Chiam Yong Lair. Third position, we see Wayne Go, and on the fourth position, it's going to be Chao Jen Ye. And on the 5th position is going to be Danish Wigneshwaran. And the 6th, we see Chong Kai Cheng. 7 is going to be Chandra Maulianandan. And on the 8th is going to be Mohammad Hakim. And the 9th is going to be Mohammad Shafiq bin Omar Ali. And last but not least is going to be Mohammad Kamal bin Muhammad Ali.
We're going to see a lot of representation of Selangor naturally, but we also have another Penang Knight in the form of Lau Wei Kit, Sony Gazoo, a veteran of the Velocity Esports Championship from its inception itself, and narrowly missed out on the main event showing back in 2019. But then now he is back. He is feeling very confident about this year. He feels like it's absolutely going to be him getting into the grand finals this time around, and I'm really excited to see how it's going to be able to go. But you know, special mention as well to some of our newcomers into this competition here, particularly Shafiq Ali. He previously had competed in the MotoGP esports division back in 2021, 2022, getting a high of 5th place overall. So, you know, going from 2 wheels to 4 wheels now in both the esport racing series is something kind of brilliant. It gives me vibes of drivers like Surtees back in the day, who was both like a motorcycling champion and a Formula 1 champion at the same time. So can Shafiq...
It's a mixture of everything, huh?
Yeah, can he be the best of both worlds here, maybe? Let's have to see. But, you know, speaking of other drivers that we want to watch out for, Pusheen Lair. Yesterday was a very exciting quarterfinals we saw from him, didn't it?
That's a name that we really look forward to today. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I think we'll be starting off our race very, very shortly. This is going to be all the actions from Group B, and you're watching none other than Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup Malaysia 2023. And we just can't wait to go inside of the race. But man, I can really look forward to these races there, because yesterday they put on an amazing show, and we know, comparing from the quarterfinals, this group is a one to watch. Really.
And
yeah.
Like Sham Long Lier, Chao Yan-jie, and Chong Kai Chang showed a lot of potential in yesterday's quarterfinals, and 3 of them being from the same racing clan, EVA, certainly will be having a lot to race for here today. You know, the pride of their own clan coming into this race here particularly. But speaking of which as well, another special mention has to go to Danish Wigneshwaran. He represented Malaysia together with contingent, together with Taj Aiman as well as Melvin Chong. They went and represented Malaysia at the GT World Series just last week, literally. So he's coming back here as like one of the drivers with international experience now, Danish Wigneshwaran. And although yesterday he had a bit of a spill, if I can say so.
I call him the man of entertainment.
A man of entertainment,
yeah, the man
really.
Of entertainment.
So the main thing that we want to see from him, right, especially now that we're in the semifinals, is that we want to see him, because we know he's fast. We know that
really
he's
fast,
very quick in a single lap. Now the question is, how consistent can he be, and will he be able to show the level of skill that is expected of him coming into this main event?
Alright, so jadi tuan-tuan dan puan, kita akan teruskan dengan qualifying session di dalam Group B semifinals, dan kita sedang on board bersama dengan Kai Chang yang kini berada di dalam P yang pertama. Tetapi let's see what are the lap times that these racers are about to set, and got themselves in a very good position for their great start. But several names that is going to be a man to watch. And let's find out who's going to be topping out this time.
Yeah, Chong Kai Chang, 29 years old. He was 5th place in the last Velocity Esports Championship last year, but he also competed in Michelin Virtual Race Series in 2021 and got 2nd place in there. So he certainly comes into this competition with a healthy amount of experience, actually. And even seeing from yesterday's quarterfinals, it really does show. Now, his teammate, Cham Yong Lair, aka Pusheen Lair, from if you guys were watching yesterday's quarterfinals, he was also a brilliant racer in that regard. Actually won out his group, which was Group D. So I'm going to be seeing whether or not he'll be able to carry forward that performance coming to this group now, because they're going to be up against some true veterans of this competition here, especially in the form of Danish Wigneshwaran and Sony Gazoo, Lau Wei Kit here, hailing all the way from Penang. Yeah. We also got Wayne Go, who was also a semi-finalist last year as well. So these guys, they know exactly what it takes really to compete in a high-level series of Gran Turismo races like this. So whether or not these new guys will be able to step on the plate and also offer a good challenge here, I really want to see that happen here. I want to see these guys show that anyone can really come here and make a huge splash in a high-level tournament like this.
I think for me, the man to watch is going to be Low Kido, is going to be Sonny Gazoo, only age 32. And this man was the semi-finalist back in TGR Velocity Esports Championship 2022. And he also became the finalist in 2020. He came closer to winning it there, Victor. And maybe this could be his year. We saw how impressive he was in the quarterfinals. And I believe that he has all it takes to win, but he also has other challenges that we know coming from Danis Vigneshwaran. Wayne Go is also in the same group. Zhao Jianye as well, who will be coming in as well. But this is going to be very, very important for Sonny Gazoo because he knows that, he came closer in the few years, and now he really needs to win this, Victor.
And it's only like, Wicked knows more than anyone else, like how quickly things can go wrong because a decision by the race stewards literally lost him the opportunity to race in the grand finals back in 2019. So he knows that even if you have like a brilliant race, it's never guaranteed, that you're going to have a shoot-in to the top of the line, and especially with new competition coming into this year, he certainly knows that it's going to be very stiff up in the top there. He's going to have to, outdrive himself literally if he wants to have a shot of getting into the grand finals here. But that's what they're all here for. This qualifying session so far, we haven't seen any good lap times come in, but with several coming across the line now, no doubt we'll be seeing some. Oh, Danny. He's very aggressive on the curbs there, and we saw him lose control during yesterday's quarterfinals here. Hopefully he'll be able to keep it together just for this race.
Yes, there's going to be a 15-minute sprint race. And just can't wait to find out what's going to be happening very, very soon in this race. Danis Vigneshwaran, a man to watch in this race. I call him the man of entertainment, and this man has all it takes to win. But sometimes luck might not be on his side, but hopefully this year luck will be gradually on his side there, Victor.
Oh, I was gonna say he was taking the top spot there. He got the fastest lap just now, but just got snatched away there by Wayne Ko, yet another alumni of the Velocity Esports Championship. He's now 494 milliseconds faster than Muhammad Kamal Ali, so he is certainly having a lot of pace here, and he's firing off the first of what's going to be a rally of shots here in this Group B first race. So certainly going to be the man to beat now, having set a time of 146.245.
Yeah, last few seconds to go, and the qualifying sessions will come to an end as we will be going into our official race 1 in Group B.
Yeah, Wayne Go right now trying to take it very nice and gingerly through these corners here. Now the qualifying timer is already down to this last 10 seconds, so by all means this is going to be the final flying lap that these guys will do. So will they be able to make any gains here in spite of the fact they had to stay out, which means they're actually doing this next stint in the qualifying with slightly quite worn tires here. So one wonders if they're going to be able to make any significant gains in spite of this. But you can see the way that Wayne Go takes this chicane here. He went very close to the wall in the entry there, but very smooth transition through the chicanes, which is absolutely what you need in order to make it through the chicanes. Because if you go on the ragged edge, just like how Danny did earlier on, you can see that it can easily unsettle the car, this GR Supra, because of how high and aggressive the curbs are in the chicane of death. So that's why if you want to survive the chicane of death, you got to be very smooth and precise in your entry as well as your exits.
Well, I believe when you're in the semi-finals there, Victor, you have enough training, and you just have to do the very best there, Victor. And I just can, I mean, I can always tell them, all the best. It's all down to them. It is down to the racers to do it. As what you say, you need to be very precise. So I kind of feel like it comes with training, and it also comes with the hours that they spend on the track. And that is going to be so crucial for them to take it into the race number 1.
Yeah, Wayne Go takes the pole position here, ladies and gentlemen, in the Group B qualifying. What an amazing time he actually did. Quite competitive with Touch Ayman's time too. So this is going to be a very interesting turn of events. Danis Vigneshwaran only able to get himself in the second row there with the third place standing. Chong Kai Chang will be starting alongside Wayne Go on this run here. So he's the Kai Chang is the fastest of the EVA drivers here. His teammates Zhao Jianye is currently in 5th place. Chang Yong Lair is currently in 7th place. Lao Wei Kid, he only managed to qualify a best of 6 right now, which is it's kind of like in the dangerous position to be in, but maybe he'll be able to make up some good places to start, or rather, he's definitely going to be hoping to make up more places later on in the start.
I'm very sure he's going to do that, Victor. But one thing for sure is that this race is going to be a really good one to watch, with so many good names that we have comparing to the one in the Group A. So Group B is my favorite now.
Yeah, and I'm expecting a lot of entertainment to come out of this one here. I mean, they've already seen what the Group A racers has done, and certainly will want to try to one-up them, right? So let's see whether we'll be able to one-up them in terms of the entertainment they'll give later on, or maybe just by showing an explosive amount of pace here right from the get-go. And super impressed by Wayne Go's performance here, really. He's definitely been like a veteran in this competition when it comes to Gran Turismo. Previously, he's also competed in the e-racing Grand Prix too, just like Mior, Muhammad Hafiz, so as well as the Siga Raga, aka Ahmad Siddiq. So these guys, they've been in the scene for such a long time, and that's why I always love to come to this GT Cup every single year. It's always a highlight for me because it's a gathering of the very best sim racers all over Malaysia. Here we go. This is going to be the start of race number 1 now. Wayne Go now leading the pack going into the first turn. Chong Kai Chang latching onto his back end there to try to get the toe. Hopefully he's trying to make a pass by the time to get to the chicane. Kai Chang's going to have to attack around the outside though, but Wayne Go very gingerly cuts over the curbs there. Other cars going almost into the wall there, but nevertheless are still able to come through into a single foul line. Danish Ricaswaro is able to break away from the pack now. He's chasing up to Chong Kai Chang's car right about now. But then the rest, we're waiting for them to get the footage back in. Now we are on board with Muhammad Shafiq, who is currently lagging a little bit far behind there in P4, but nevertheless is the best of the rest there, as he's able to head off Chao Jianye.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about. These 3 racers in the top. There's going to be Wayne Go, Kai Chang, and also Danish Ricaswaro and Shafiq now drifting apart there and still holding on a very good time. But now Chao Jianye might have a nick on it, and he got past Shafiq, got himself into P4 with that pace. Ain't no one is stopping him.
Yeah, that slide was definitely not intentional there for Shafiq, and when you slide like that, you lose your speed on the exit. So that was a perfect moment there for him to strike. So now he's already out of P4. We can see Lao Wei Kit languishing a little bit in PA. He's dropped 2 places since the start, and now is stuck behind Chao Long Jong Yong Lair. So he is now coming through the chicane of death, having to take on these curves very carefully. Has to be. Oh, he's also caught a half-second penalty too. So he will be slowing down later on at the penalty line there. So that's going to put him out of this battle here, I think. Between oh no! Into the wall goes Wei Kit. He drops yet another place. This is an absolute disaster here from the man from Penang.
This is not his actual plan, there, Victor. He did not expect that to happen.
And Chandra's moved up as well.
Is just spinning off there. That is not his plan as well. I mean, things are going really bonkers now. But one thing for sure is that the man's in the top there, they just keep on rolling absolutely well. So jadi tuan-tuan dan puan, anda sedang menyaksikan perlumbaan di dalam semifinal Group B. Ini adalah race yang pertama kita on board bersama dengan Shafiq yang kini berada dalam P5. Why is everyone sliding left and right there, Victor? Don't tell me there's oil on the track right now.
I don't think so. Everyone's just pushing so hard.
Absolutely.
But I think they're a little bit caught out by how severe the tire wear is, given that it's 15 times simulation rate. 2 cars going side by side. Chao Long trying to go alongside. Pushes Shafiq onto the grass. Shafiq comes back on, pushes back on a Yong Lair. Sliding and elbows out here. But Chao Yong Lair still stays in P5.
Ya, ini saya mengatakan, Victor, Group B is an entertainment. Sekarang Hakim kemungkinan dan peluang untuk memintas Yong yang kini berada dalam P6 dan sudah pun memintas di situ. Dan battle itu masih lagi berlangsung di hadapan. Dan Hakim akhirnya sudah pun berada di hadapan. Dan Yong masih lagi memberikan tekanan. Dan tampaknya ada yang sudah pun masuk ke dalam wall di situ, Victor.
No. Such a disaster so far. So many guys spitting out in this first lap alone, and others are still jostling for position here. Chao Yong Lair now under attack here from Muhammad Hakim, who is now taking the inside here. They want to try to go side by side here, maybe through the chicane of death. That's going to be very risky though, but it will do it anyway. First one to chicken out, it's not going to get through. Hakim will be the one that gets in front of him by the time he gets through the first chicane. Second one comes along, Hakim still stays in front.
Just going all out there, Victor. With just only 3 minutes on the clock. This is a 15-minute sprint race, and we're on board with Yong at this moment. This is P6, but he's looking forward to go and climb all the way to P5 now. Hakim going wide, and Hakim needs to be careful now. Yong coming closer, and this is the moment for Yong to actually capitalize on Hakim. What a mistake there, Victor. He did not expect that to happen, but let's see how far Hakim is able to hold on to it as they're coming into next turn right now. This turn is going to be turn 1, and off they go, and Yong right now got into P6. And the man Hakim is holding on to it, and maybe Yong might have a chance, but Hakim, how did he do this to Victor? Keep on holding on to it there. He just got himself in P5 and just holding on to it.
He's just gonna have to force his way through. That's the way he's done it.
No,
like,
he
in the
lost so
last
much of
recovery.
speed earlier on.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
He went so wide there, so that put Cham Yong-lair in a position to try to counterattack, but he wasn't able to get past Hakim despite the mistake that Hakim did early on. But now you can see the drivers just struggling to try to keep the cars on the straight and narrow here because of the tire wear that's going on. I think that's one factor, and two, it's just probably like the rush of excitement really from that first lap itself that's just affecting these drivers now. But with all this kind of chaos happening here, I wonder how is that going to factor into the strategy later on. We're already close to the 5-minute mark now, so that's only 1/3 of the race already done. Odds are this is still going to be a one-stop strategy, but the question is, like, are there going to be some guys here who can be forcing themselves to pit very early on because they either pushed themselves a little bit too hard, slid around too much, maybe used up too much fuel. Again, all these kind of things will be playing in their minds here right now, but they're just going to have to adapt to the situation as it goes.
Ya, 10 minit yang berbaki di dalam race ini dan nampaknya Yong-lair masih lagi mendekati Hakim yang kini berada dalam P5. This is the battle of P5, I would say. P5 adalah satu posisi yang mereka kena berada untuk qualify ke dalam grand final dan nampaknya you need to go into the pits for refuel there, Victor. I'm not sure if he needs to go there. Looking, you only have half a tank over there.
Could be a UI bug, really.
Yeah,
but I don't see
could be
anyone
the
really
bug,
having
yeah.
too much fuel situation. But we see Sunway Kid taking a dive into the pit entry there, so it's going to be one of the early ones to take a pit stop. Maybe because of like the situation he had early on, where he ended up in a spin and perhaps even a collision, perhaps might have damaged his car. Because remember, the damage is on for these cars though, so any kind of slam into the wall, that's going to affect their performance in the long run. So unfortunately, he's going to have to take a pit stop now, switching up to a fresh set of tires, maybe to try to help his pace here. But as we saw with Mior, before this, the undercut like this doesn't usually work out well. So his best bet right now is just to do damage mitigation at this point. He knows that he's already kind of made a big mistake in that first lap. Now it's just up to him to try to claw back any sort of points he can get from this point on.
Yeah, so we're on board with the showman right now. None other than Danish Wignishwaran. Kemungkinan ada peluang untuk memintas Wayne Go yang kini berada di dalam P yang pertama. Mereka terus saja ke dalam Sleko yang ke-12 sekarang ni. Dan Danish Wignishwaran masih lagi berada dengan jarak 0.8 saat belakang Wayne yang kini berada di hadapan. Dan mereka terus masuk ke dalam chicane yang agak bahaya sekarang ni, Victor. And they just know how to make it smooth there. Look at that.
Yeah, he has to be so smooth and very precise with
perfect
the input
exit.
there. Look at that little right over the curbs there. And the thing is that if you're not steady at all, if you don't have a firm grip on your steering wheel as it goes over those curves, very easy for you to slide out and find yourself facing the wrong way around on the track. And Danish is just really doing his very best right now to focus on the guy in front of him. Wayne Go is going into the pits now, so Danish is going to be able to inherit the lead now. Wayne Go is coming in to take his mandatory pit stop. He's already worn out his tires now as Danish takes onto the line here to lead the race here ahead of Chao Jin-ye.
Yeah, the tire management is going to be very, very crucial and important. Danish Wignishwaran right now in P1. He needs to go to the pits there, Victor. Look at his left tires.
Yeah,
pretty much wearing out very, very fast as they're coming into turn 4 now. And Danish Wignishwaran, the showman, I would say, is still in P1. Not much of a huge entertainment from him, but still keeping himself in P1. But what's his strategy is going to be another question to find out later on.
He's now having to push. I mean, having Wayne Go already in the pits means that now is this opportunity to try to make up time compared to him. But a huge amount of people as well has gone into the pit stops too. So Danish needs to be able to make an absolute banger of a lap right now to make sure he doesn't lose out too much once he has inevitably come in from the pits later on at the end of the lap. Now, Sunway Kid, he pitted early on. Now he's recovered up into 7th place, but it's not a definite 7th right now, though. We still have to see where Chao Jin-ye as well as Danish Wignishwaran end up after they have taken the pit stop. The only two, I think, in the lineup here that has not taken the mandatory pit stop yet. So Lau is just going to try to do his best here to maybe catch up to Muhammad Hakim. He's only 2.4 seconds ahead of him right now. And with 6 minutes to go, time is of the absolute essence right here for all our drivers to make the best positions.
But I had lots of expectations for Sunny Gazoo at this moment. He's right now on P7 now, as he's coming as fast as he can to get himself in the qualifying position. But so far, so good for him. And let's see there, Victor. We have another about 12 minutes to go. And let's see if he's able to, not 12 minutes, but a few more minutes actually, because it's only a 15-minute sprint race. So I believe this is going to be very, very important for him to come close in front.
Yeah, Wicked now has already closed the gap a bit, eaten away like 0.4 of a second to Muhammad Hakim right now, the brother of Afif Suhaimi in Group A. He's already up in that 5th place round, he's up in the 6th place, which is one less compared to where his brother was in a similar kind of like timeline in the previous group. But he's 1.1 seconds behind Cham Yong Lair, so maybe he wants to try to catch up with him and hopefully attack him for 5th place. I think that's possibly on the cards here. We still have 5 minutes left, and 5.5 minutes left here in this race. He's coming around the final corner there. Cham unfortunately has gained a little bit of time now, 2/10 from the previous gap we saw in Sector 3. So he still has his work cut out for him here, Muhammad Hakimi, if he wants to get up in that 5th place.
Ya, so 5 minit yang terakhir sekarang ini, Danis Wigneshwaran sekarang ini berada di dalam P yang kedua, dan Kai Chang cuba untuk memberikan tekanan kepada Chen Ye yang kini berada di hadapan, dan tempat ketiga kemungkinan menjadi satu rebutan antara dua-dua ni. Mereka terus masuk ke dalam seleko yang kelima sekarang ni. And let's see if there's going to be any possible movements from Kai Chang. Tries to close himself inside. Got the slipstream, but then Chen Ye is just denying him all through the axis there, Victor. Not letting him, but maybe through this downhill, that could be an opportunity for Kai Chang.
It's good to see that Chen Ye was able to come out in front of Chong Kai Chang even after the pit stop early on. So now this final 5 minutes is going to be the most important 5 minutes of the race now. Can Chao Jin Ye stay on the podium here, or will his compatriot Chong Kai Chang be the one to take in the set? 3/10 separate the two as we come around to the beach corner here. Very important breaking point before we get to the chicane here, but Kai Chang isn't really going to be able to make much of a gain onto, an advance onto Chen Ye quite yet. Will still be able to benefit off of the toe as he comes through into the chicane of death here, but again, very much less time now, at least 1 or 2 laps to go here on this race. So he only has that 1 or 2 laps now to catch up with Chen Ye and hopefully challenge for a podium position.
Ya, Kai Chang cuba di situ, Victor, dan nampaknya kita lihat Chen Ye masih lagi mengekalkan posisi beliau di hadapan, dan mereka mempunyai lebih kurang half a tank there, Victor. That's going to definitely last all the way in the couple of minutes that's going to go, dan kita mempunyai lebih kurang 3 minit saja di dalam race ini, tuan-tuan dan puan. Anda sedang menyaksikan Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup Malaysia 2023, dan ini adalah grouping race yang pertama, and we are coming very closer to the end of race 1 as we are on board with the man, the showman, Danis Wigneshwaran on a P2. Look at the gap, 2 seconds right behind Wayne Goes. Pretty much I feel Wayne Goes settled in the front there, Victor, unless he makes a mistake, but Danis Wigneshwaran will definitely be pleased with the position, its performance so far in the race.
But knowing Danny, I think nothing will satisfy him other than first place, really. So he'll still take this opportunity to try to chase on to the end.
Yeah.
But with 3 minutes still remaining, that's still a serious tall order there for him to try to do. But he will still try anyway. Nevertheless, for Chong Kai Chang and Chen Ye, they're still battling it out for that final podium position here. Chen Ye is already starting to make some gains here, so starting to get a bit of a comfortable gap now. Or whether I say comfortable is really the difference between standing on a cliff edge and hanging out to the edge of the stairwell. So not quite the safest spot, but then again, he's still in front, and that's the thing that really matters.
Absolutely. And how about for P5 right now, Victor? Look at the 1.7 difference there, 1.6 seconds different there between Yong and also Kai Chang. And Kai Chang now just maintaining a very decent position and also pace over there. Right behind it is going to be Chen, and let's see if Chen is able to keep on and hold on to it. The Kai Chan is still holding on and putting on the pressure. Just waiting for Chen to make a mistake and maybe might make a move right now. He's getting the speed. He's gaining the speed that he needs right now, and they come into turn at number 12. This could be another one for him. Another opportunity. Chen goes a little bit wider, but Kai Chang just got into the position, and they are going side by sides. And this could be it for Kai Chang to get himself in front and leave Chen behind as they come into turn 1. It's going to be a very long stretch all the way into turn 2. He's forced there, of course, and Kai Chang got into P3, leaving Chen behind. and he got himself into podium position. But it's
okay.
not over, Victor. It's not over.
Revenge.
Jen got himself back again. He regained his position. And Jen says, thank you very much. Very nice of you to be in the front. But Kai Chang got himself again. He got the pace as they come into the downhill right now. And
man,
this,
I love
there
this.
you go. They're just going position on and off there, Victor. And Jen goes behind now. Kai Chang is in P3. How is this happening? I just have no idea.
They're so evenly matched. I mean, again, they're from the same racing clan, so certainly they are very familiar with each other's kind of pace here. But
So
this is
good.
amazing side-by-side racing here. But Kai Chang yet again finds himself on the podium here. But can he hold on? Jen Ye, who is the senior amongst the two of them, him being 37 years old, while Kai Chang is 29 years old. So the younger is leading the older right now. But we've seen that he's able to fight back though in those few corners. But now we are approaching that the final minute of this race here.
Oh,
Chen
no.
Ye gets inside. His elbows are out right now. He's trying to force his way through. Kai Chang does not give way though. Takes the wider line. Still carries plenty of momentum to make sure he's in front by the time they get through the chicane of death.
I mean, like, how long these two is going to last in the front there, Victor? Unless one of them make a huge, drastic mistake. And look at how smoothly they exit through the chicane of death and just keeping themselves in a very good position as they come into turn number 12 now. And let's see, maybe a chance for Kai Chang. And
10
Kai Chang is
seconds.
just holding on to it. He just sticks so well on the inside and not letting Jen to come in front. I mean, what a splendid racing by these two.
Yeah, the sliding out there, coming across the line. Ooh, just beat the clock there, I think. Or maybe just not. They've come through. P3 and P4 confirmed, but Jen Ye, Cham Yong Lair has taken P5, and Muhammad Hakim has taken P7. Woi Kit Lau only P7. We still have two racers in front there that are racing here. Wayne Go and Danish Wickers Warren. It is not set in stone yet who is P1 and P2. Danny, though, he's already caught up to P1, 337 of Wayne Go right now, so he's certainly gaining, but is it still going to be enough? There's still a huge gulf for him to make up for in the next sector.
Yeah, he's definitely going to push so far there because this is the final lap. And let's see if he's able to do something about this. Danish Wickers. As what Victor said earlier on, this man doesn't like to settle for number 2. He always likes to settle for number 1. But if he's forced to go on P2 right now there, Victor, and this is what he can do at the best, then it is what it is. Looking at 1.2 seconds right behind Wayne Go.
Wayne Go just has to play it clean now. He just has to finish his lap ahead of Danish, and he will take the win in Group B. This is still not set in stone until they see the checkered flag, ladies and gentlemen. That's why they're still absolutely running well, as everyone else have already seen the flag. These two guys are still absolutely going for it. Danish Wickers Warren doing his best to try to eat away at a time, but he's only making out margins of 1/10 only in this lap. I don't think that's going to be enough to catch up to Wayne. He's already within a second now as he come out to the final corner here. Wayne just needs to keep it nice and tidy, not make a misstep here, and he will be able to get through. Winning Swarman follows very closely behind. He's always started to gain, but if only there was still one more lap here. Wayne Go still heads him off, coming into the line, a drag race to the finish now. 4/10s, 3/10s, not enough there for Danish Wickers Warren. He finishes P2. Wayne Go wins race 1 for Group B.
That's what Victor said. If only there's one more lap, we will be seeing some blockbuster of an action. But ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to Wayne Go, who just won the first race in Group B. What a race it has been, especially P4 and P5 was an entertainment to watch. And these are your provisional results. Wayne Go in P1, P2 falls for Danish Wickers Warren, P3 for Kai Chang, P4 Jenya, and P5 is going to fall for Yong Le.
Yeah, Leong Lair and Muhammad Hakim, the brother of Afif Suhaimi in Group A. He takes a 6th spot ahead of Lau Wei Kit, aka Sony Gazoo, in 7th place. Muhammad Kamal Ali takes 8th place. And that rounds up our top 8 here for Group B. An amazing race, even with all the chaos that has happened early on in the first couple of laps there. I do wonder what was the reason for all the thrills and spills. You mentioned the possibility of oil spills, but that doesn't happen in Gran Turismo though.
Of course, it never happens, man.
I think it's like maybe just some mistakes or perhaps some damage sustained, because I did see in the...
Don't tell me there's so many people are doing the same mistake, right?
That's the thing. I saw in like the entry to turn 2 and 3, the chicane there, that a lot of cars behind actually came together just behind the race leaders, right? So I suspect maybe some damage might have been sustained during that contact, which might have damaged a suspension or perhaps caused a puncture or something in the car. Maybe that's why some of these drivers were caught out by that, because they didn't expect the car to just swerve wildly when they tried to reaccelerate for the corner in the next few sectors. So very strange set of circumstances, but I think it was just largely down to mistakes on the driver's part. But then again, you know, for the guys running in front there, Danny, Wayne Go, absolutely flawless kind of like victory here for Wayne Go.
I think that's a splendid racing by these three there, Victor. I mean, they're just putting on an amazing show so far. Danish Vignesh, and if only he had one more lap there, we might see something different in the results there. But it is what it is. Congratulations to Wayne Go, who actually got himself in P1. How about for the rest there, Victor, especially at the back? We saw Chandra Maulian was just spinning off at some point, and I think that came during that.
Yeah, the final turn, and it was also very far after the exit of the final turn too. So I don't know whether it's like, I think it's I suspect it's like just something unexpected on Chandra's part that caused him to get into that spin though. But hopefully Naz will be able to shed a little bit more light when he interviews the racers later on to find out their opinions about what happened in the race here. But in my opinion though, it was a brilliant race, a very entertaining one.
Of course. So tuan-tuan dan puan, nampaknya kita sudah pun tamat di dalam race yang pertama di dalam Group B semi-finals. So jadi kita akan bersama dengan Nas untuk go through all the interviews bersama dengan racer-racer dan juga bersedia untuk race yang kedua. So Nas, over to you, man.
Terima kasih Encik Matthews Isaacs, terima kasih Mr. Victor Cax. Memang saya setuju, satu perlombaan yang sangat mengujakan. What a cracking race here for the race 1 of Group B. 10 semi-finalists duking it out. And here's the thing, we've been taking a look at the results. Yes, Danish Vignesh, last year's finalist, making it on the podium. Chong Kai Cheng as well. But the surprise edition, the man of the hour here. 4-time semi-finalist, never a finalist, but maybe 1 foot in the finals, Mr. Wayne Go. Congratulations. Let's give him a big round of applause, man. How does it feel to have 1 foot in the finals? I understand Dragon Trail is one of your favorite tracks and you've beaten two finalists from last year. How does that feel?
Still nervous. I would say you can see my hands still shaking because I would say Danny was a very strong competitor with World Series players behind me, so it was an intense pressure behind. So I still feel very good that I managed to beat them and defend.
And of course, with the different variables right here, with tires as well as fuel, race management has become a major issue. So over here, what do you think that gave you the edge over the others?
I would say the racing line is very important because that's the point that how you're gonna save your tires and the shifting part. So I would say maybe it's lucky. I got lucky.
Maybe it's lucky. I think you put the variables in already, especially the front left tires are the ones that will probably eat out the most. So this time reverse grid. Any thoughts?
Easy go lucky. Happy go lucky.
Happy-go-lucky, Mr. Wayne Go. Let's see how far luck takes him. Does he take it all the way to the grand finals? We'll find out soon. Now, Wayne, congratulations on running a great race. Well done. And our next contender right here, just right beside me, is Mr. Danish Vignesh. Danny, you were a finalist last year. You talked a big game, and this year you've been pretty quiet. So, what do you think of your prestasi setakat ini?
So yeah, this year I'm just trying to take it a bit more gently because yesterday in the quarterfinals I pushed too hard. So today I'm taking a different approach, just to take it easy. If I'm behind like P1, it's okay. Just because these semi-finals, you just want to try and play it safe. You know, if you're in a good position, just don't fight. Yeah.
Don't fight, huh? Because it's over 3 races after all, right? So for Group B, many would say that you've got an easier path into the grand finals. Only 1 former finalist, Chong Kai Cheng, and of course a few semi-finalists from the years before. But overall, you are the favorite to be leading this group. So somehow, Mr. Wayne Go, who's never been in the finals, has won this particular race. What are your thoughts?
I've seen Wayne practice a lot. He has good pace actually. So yeah, I'm very happy for him. So he drove well under pressure, I saw. When I was chasing him down, he just kept his lines, he didn't make any mistakes. So yeah, I'm very, very impressed with Wayne. He's improved a lot over the past year.
He's keeping an eye on all the contenders. This time around, Dragon Trail, reverse grid. Is race management going to play a big role?
Yes, a lot, because we have the high fuel multipliers this time. So, you know, we have to manage our fuel properly. Let's just see how it goes, basically.
You went on a one-stop strategy. You think you're going to stick with the same one for reverse grid?
Maybe not.
Wah, ada pertukaran di sana. Care to share with us a little bit?
It might be 3 stops,
Oh.
just like the Group A race.
I see. So is this his actual strategy? Is this just throwing a red herring right there for the other competitors? We shall wait and see. Meanwhile, Danesh, thank you very much. Great race so far, but it's only 1/3 of the way. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got race 2 and race 3 coming up for Group B. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the race highlights for Group B. Back to our competitors.
All right, so this is the highlights of race 1, Group B in the semi-finals. When talk us through that, Victor, we saw a perfect start by both of them, and there were some points where virtually we had some oil spill incidents, but there was no oil in the track. It's just everyone was going sliding left and right. But what happened in detail there, Victor?
I don't know. We didn't quite see like the coming together of
Look
a lot
at
of these
this.
guys, but Shafiq and Zhonglei had a lot of like of really aggressive actions being happening for them in these corners here. Jen Ye and Kai Chang have been fighting each other even from the get-go of this race here, and finally came to a head towards the midpoint in this race here when two of them are very much matched in pace here. Now the thing is that interestingly enough, like Chao Jin Ye has technically a lot more experience with the Gran Turismo franchises he's played since the very first game, but Kai Chang conversely has a lot more experience in competitions for sim racing in more recent times. But nevertheless, the two of them are very evenly matched, as shown by the way they've been battling throughout these races here. Now, for Wayne Go and Danish Warren, though, like Wayne certainly could say that like a lot of the reason why he was ending up in the first here was off of his amazing qualifying performance, where he out-qualified Danish Warren. So that's why he was literally in front there. But then Danish, you know, he wasn't really quite able to gain that much in these kind of like in this race itself. So I think like in the next race to come here, which is going to be reverse grid, Danish needs to get an absolute cracking start ahead of Wayne Go if he wants to be able to at least snatch away some extra points compared to him here.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this is the race results from race 1, Group B. So in P1, we see Wayne Go taking 28 points. P2 is going to be following for Danish Warren with 19 points. P3, Chong Kai Chang on 17 points. P4 for Chao Jin Ye, who will be bringing her 12 points. P5 is going to go for Cham Yong Ler on 10 points. P6 for Mohammad Hakim bin Suhaimi on 8 points. P7, lower kid known as Sony Gazoo on 6 points. P8 for Mohammad Kamal, who's bringing him 4 points. P9 for Mohammad Shafiq, 2 points. And last but not least is Chandramauli Anandan with only 1 point there, Victor.
Yeah, so for Chandra especially, he's going to have to look forward to making up a lot of that deficit here in race 2, where he'll be starting in the front of the grid, whereas like Wayne Go and Danny will literally be on the final row there, so it's going to be up to the two of them to make up places as they go. Now, will they be able to emulate the same kind of performance like Taj Ayman did, you know, a brilliant race strategy that allows him to get all the way to the lead of the race, so allowing him to get back-to-back wins in that regard. So can Wayne Go do the same thing as well? Can Danny actually snatch the win away from him instead here? That will be an interesting thing to look for, especially for Group B here. One thing's for sure is that the two of them are quite evenly matched. It's just going to be a matter of like the nuances, the detail that these drivers will go through in terms of how, when they're going to be making their pit stop, and also how well they are able to maintain a good consistent pace in this 25-minute long race number 2.
But it also pulls me pretty much safe there, where Danish Warren was telling that he wants to play safe there, Victor, this time. But of course, when you're on a 25 minutes race this time, I think you can literally take the risk and also maybe go for a little bit of high-intensity racing that we usually see from these guys. But Wayne Go on the other side put on a really good performance on the first race. Will he able to repeat that? That is the question we're about to find out. So ladies and gentlemen, we'll be starting off our race 2 right now. Here we go.
Here we go. Chandramauli will be standing in front, but it looks like Shafiq is already kind of gaining on him now, coming into his first turn. The thing is that Shafiq will have a bit of an advantage here, given that he is on the inside line. He's going to try to go side by side with Chandramauli as we come around to the second turn now. The chicanes here breaking very, very hard. All the cars just piling in there. But this time a little bit clean, but no, Chandra gets nudged into the wall there as Kamali continues to pull away. So does Lau Wei Kit, so does Chong Kai Chang, and more is spinning in the background there as another driver has just lost it. Mohammed Shafiq has ended up in the wall as well together with Chandra Mauli. So now the rest of the 8 drivers continue on through these sectors right now. They've already gotten past through this first juncture of the triangle. Now it's going to be uphill and downhill into the sweeping left and right-hand corners.
That was a very unfortunate event that happened earlier on there, Victor, but now all focus in these 5 races. Who are on the top now? Danish Vignesh somehow got himself into P4 now. Kai Chang is in P3, keeping a very decent pace to chase down the 2 men in the front. And Mohamed Kamal is going to be another one to watch how long he's able to hold on to that P1 position while he gets all the pressure from low. But he's just putting on a really good performance when it comes to extending his gap in the front there, Victor.
Yeah, he's trying to pull away there and allow Wicked. He knows that his real race is going to be with the guys all the way behind him. But look at how far out Wayne Go has made now. He's already up into 5th place here. But Danish Vignesh still is ahead of him, though. And they're true to still continue to race on. And Wayne is just literally taking the toe off of Danny's car right now in order to stay within a touching distance of him. Maybe he might want to think of taking a peek into that corner. No, he's just going to fall back a little bit. He wants to hang on to Danish Vignesh in order to try and navigate through these corners. I had to jink a little bit there to avoid him, though. But that's given an opportunity now for Mohammed Hakim to attack him on the inside. He just lost the place there as Wayne Go drops down to 6th. Mohammed Hakim is up to 5th.
Yeah, he tried very best there, Wayne Go, to actually maintain his P5, but Mohammed Hakim showed just another level of performance so far. And Mohammed Hakim right now on P5. Will this be another position for him to climb all the way to the front to chase down Danish Vignesh, or will we seeing Wayne Go overtaking him again and maintaining himself in the position, in the qualifying position to be specific? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the race 2 Group B that's underway, and we are just watching these races in the top. And they're fighting all the way to go into the grand finals now.
One thing's for sure is that if Wayne continues to get stuck behind Mohammed Hakim and Danish actually wins his battle against Chong Kai Chang, that's going to make an even bigger gulf here. It's going to make Wayne's job a lot harder if he wants to stay competitive in terms of points here to Danish Vignesh. But nevertheless, though, with Mohammed Hakim being in 5th place here, he is already looking to try to make up a bit of a disappointment he had in race number 1. Certainly will be getting a little bit more points here compared to the last time around. But now Danny, he's all over the back of Chong Kai Chang now, has a lot of speed coming into the beach corner here, braking very hard. He's trying to outbrake him. He does outbrake him, taking the apex there ahead of Chong Kai Chang. He is now up into the podium in P3.
Well, the showman is back and he is on the position that he really wants to. He's on P3 right now, chasing down the man in the front. It is going to be Mohammed Kamal. So Mohammed Kamal, he just says the warning is there and I'm going to be coming for you. But Kai Chang is not giving up yet, Victor. Kai Chang might just get an edge on this turn number 17 here. And let's see if Kai Chang is going to make a move on Danish Vignesh. He's just looking right now to make a move, but no, Danish Vignesh is just going to close that gap, and there's no way for him to get in front.
In the meantime, off camera, Lao Wei Kid actually overtook Kamal Ali in order to take the lead of the race now.
Yeah, he's in P1 now.
He's already in P1 here, so the thing is that it's not quite over yet because, you know, we have Wayne Go coming in hot now. Both of Mohammed Hakim and perhaps even Chong Kai Chang, 2 positions straight away here. Hakim tries to nudge him away, but it's to no avail as Wayne Go is back on the P4. He's back on track there to fight, take the fight to Danish Vignesh.
Ya, satu persembahan yang sangat-sangat baik dan nampaknya Wayne Go sekarang ini berada di dalam P yang keempat. Hakim kena cuba dengan cukup baik di situ walaupun berada di dalam P yang keenam. Kai Chang sekarang ini berada di dalam P yang kelima. Ini adalah posisi qualifying sekarang ini untuk masuk ke dalam grand final nanti dan juga mengumpul mata yang cukup untuk berada di dalam grand final. Tetapi kita memberikan fokus terhadap Mohammed Hakim yang cuba untuk berada di dalam posisi yang kelima sekarang ini, Victor.
Yeah,
he's been trying very well. Dan Wayne Go sekarang ini memberikan tekanan kepada Danish Vignesh dan Danish walaupun berada di dalam P yang ketiga, beliau berada di dalam tekanan yang agak tinggi sekarang ini dan diikuri oleh Wayne Go sekarang ini, dan bagaimana Wayne akan mengatur strategi dan mereka terus saja masuk ke dalam seleko yang ke-12. Wayne Go ada peluang, adakah peluang ini akan diambil dengan cukup baik oleh Wayne sekarang ini, dan Danish Vignesh tidak nampaknya. Dan Wayne Go sekarang berada di dalam P yang ketiga, memintas Danish Vignesh, tetapi bagaimana pula kawalan sekarang ini. Danish Vignesh kembali berada di dalam P yang ketiga, just with a small mistake by Wayne.
Yeah, the mistake on the exit there, so Danish is back up in the P3 and Wayne has to tuck him behind going through the chicane of death, but he knows that he almost had Danish dead to rights there. He perhaps will be able to try again. We're only 5 minutes into the race now, and it's still not quite done yet here. The battle between Wengo and Danish as we come around to the final corner here. He needs to get an absolutely banger of an exit. Oh, but still had to jink a little bit. His car almost lost control there. Wayne is just fighting his car, trying to get through. And this is surprising to see, especially when you consider the tire wear here is very low at 5 times the simulation rate, which means that these guys, at most, they just have to worry about the fuel consumption out of these races here. But look at Kai Chang. He's getting chased very hard now by Chao Jianye. He's attempting to try to get alongside him now, and Muhammad Hakim is taking the toe off of both of these cars now to try to gain an advantage here. He might just be able to get past Kai Chang as well as he tucks in behind Chao Jianye, but he's being blocked as well.
Wow.
Now going to be side by side with Chong Kai Chang going through the case now. Hakim has to take onto the outside of the curves, and he loses control. Almost collects Chong Kai Chang as he comes around, but he ends up in the wall. Fortunately, no one else was collected in this collision.
Aduh, tiada ruang untuk Hakim tadi nampaknya Victor, dan terus terkeluar daripada litar. Dan nampaknya itu akan memberikan tekanan agak tinggi kepada beliau. Tetapi kita akan terus memberikan fokus. Yang kini berada di hadapan adalah Danish Vigneswaran yang berada dalam P yang ketiga. Wayne masih lagi mengejar beliau di belakang. Masih lagi memberikan tekanan yang agak besar. Danish Vigneswaran has no time to rest at this moment. Dan mereka terus saja berada di dalam seleko yang ke-12. Dan inilah kemungkinan ada peluang untuk Wayne memberikan satu tekanan dan juga satu movement yang luar biasa kita boleh lihat. Tetapi apa yang kita boleh lihat sekarang ini adalah Danish Vigneswaran masih lagi mengekalkan posisi beliau walaupun berada di dalam 0.4, 0.3 saat belakang Wayne sekarang ini. And can Wayne do a really good exit out of there and just get the advantage out of Danish Vigneswaran? Look at that, he's slowing down. Danish is slowing down a little bit, and this might give a little bit of a bigger chance for Wayne to at least get into P3 now.
You see that he's always able to gain on the Danish, but he's just not able to get past. And I think that's also because of Vigneswaran being very good at using his car to block his exit paths, and Wayne just kind of having a difficult time just trying to keep his cars under control. Now it looks like the top front runners are going into the pits now, all single file line. Waykit, Kamal Ali, and Danish Vigneswaran, as well as Wayne Go. And now in the pits, Chao Jianye looks like he is going to be coming in as well. So Chong Kai Chang, he stays out instead. So he takes the lead of the race now, but he's going to be going one extra lap on this fuel line here, which is a little bit less than 25%, but might just be enough for him to finish one more lap.
Yeah, so Kai Chang is right now in P1, and the rest of the other packs are just going to go into the pits now. That is how they're going to be utilizing their strategy so far. But Kai Chang, another one more lap to go for this man, and I believe his fuel will definitely last until he goes into the pit there, Victor. Yeah, this boy's out now.
All coming out now. So Waykit still in front of Kamal Ali. Danish Vigneswaran still in front of Wayne Go. The gaps between them not too far though, between Kamal, Danish, as well as Wayne. So it's a three-way battle now for the podium here with Kamal Ali just holding on for dear life on that P3 position. Danish is using the toe coming off his car in order to head off any attacks coming from Wayne Go to make sure he stays in front of him throughout these laps now. But we've seen that Wayne has been able to just gain a little bit inch by inch here. The Danish Vigneswaran just not enough to get the pass. Now Danny is going for the pass now instead of Kamal Ali, and he actually gets a move done even before they got to the sweeping chorus here. So Danny's now up in the podium position. Can Wayne Go follow him as well? Kamal Ali just blocking the car, using his car to block the racing line here, but Wayne Go switches around to the other side, inside to the outside, and outside to the in. Still not able to get past, but he just at least is almost side by side.
Ya, satu blocking yang sangat baik daripada Muhammad Kamal sekarang ni, Victor, dan kita lihat bagaimana Wayne akan berikan tekanan kepada beliau sebab target beliau adalah Danish. Nampaknya Kamal he just went terlalu wide there, Victor. That is not his plan. And there you go, he lost his position, and Wayne just got into P4. Now he can chase the man in the front. Danish Vigneswaran back in trouble again, and Wayne Go just putting on all the pressure that he needs to. And Danish is like, wait, how did that happen so fast? I thought it was Kamal right behind me.
But the problem was that, battling with Kamal has lost him a bit of time now. He certainly does have the pace to catch it up to Vigneswaran, and he still has lots of health on his soft tires right now, which likely will be able to hold out for a very long stint here. Maybe not even requiring him to change tires in the next pit stop he has to do, which is most likely only going to be for fuel. Now, Lao Waykit, interestingly enough, did not change his tires at all. Instead, he only topped up his fuel to go for another stint here. So he's taking a bit of a risky strat here, which maybe might be able to hold him up in the long run, because look at that, he's already 6.5 seconds ahead of Danish Vigneswaran, so that's a gap that is not going to be easy for Danny to make up, even with a good pit strategy here. So maybe Waykit might be in a very good position to take a sudden win here. Who knows?
Ya, so dengan 15 minit yang berbaki di dalam race ini tuan-tuan dan puan, kita akan lihat siapakah yang akan jadi pemenang di dalam race ini dan juga layak ke dalam grand final. Kita on board bersama dengan Danish Vigneswaran yang kini berada di dalam P yang kedua. And look at the gap there, it's a 6 seconds gap between Wayne and also him. I wonder what happened over there. But Danish Vigneswaran is just putting on a really good performance. We know he got the pace. He showed on it earlier in the race 1 and even in race 2, he's just putting a really good performance, denying all the efforts from this man. Wayne is who's just chasing him from the start till the end right now.
Yeah, without the slipstream and without being able to use Danny as a reference here, it seems like Wayne is losing out time corner after corner now. It was early on about 1 second, now it's about 2.4 seconds here as it come around the beach corner into the chicanes of death. So now Wayne Go is not really finding the same level of pace that he had early on. Maybe he's just trying to hold on to his podium position here to guarantee himself a good haul of points. Remember, he did win the first race, so by all statistics wise, he's very likely to still get into the grand finals anyway, even with this finishing position. So perhaps he's deciding to take the safer route here, try to play for the long game instead, because we still have 15 minutes left in race number 2 though, so it's still a long way to go, still plenty of potential for these guys to go for yet another pit stop, so that might still toss up the order even more.
Yeah, so coming around turn number 70, it still gives me lots of pressure there, Victor, especially when they're coming up the chicanes. You know, just like seconds away from hitting the wall, you know?
Right.
Yeah, that just really scares me most of the time. But I'm just have to say that these racers have been putting on a really good show. The amount of effort and also the practice that they have been putting. No mistakes that we saw throughout the race, especially in the chicanes there. The
Kamal
just got himself in P4, leaving the man Kamal behind. And Kamal right now falls into P5. And this is going to be a long way for them to go. 12 minutes. He needs to be under control.
Save.
Yeah, you don't want to be losing control, especially you just got in the front there, Victor.
The curbs here might as well be called curbs of death as well, because it's so high and aggressive. So if you're on full throttle as you go over those bumps, you can see how easily an unsettles a car, even as big and steady as the GR Supra. So we already saw that happen with Kamal Ali. We saw that happen with a couple with Chandra Mauli as well. But Jen Ye almost loses it. Almost got into a tank slapper, but somehow saves it at the last moment there and still maintains his position for now. So well done for him, but Kamal Ali is still half a second behind. Can still potentially keep him under pressure now for these couple of laps here as he continues to chase him through the chicanes of death.
Yeah, so jadi itu dia tuan-tuan dan puan. Kamal Ali sekarang ini berada di dalam P yang kelima. I would say this is a qualifying position so far, and it's still going to be giving him an edge in the front, but he needs to be really careful over here not to make mistake. Just now he made a few mistakes, then he dropped all the way to other positions as well, and now he got himself in P5, and we have another long way to go there, Victor.
Yeah, I can watch
look who's behind that.
Look in the rearview mirror. Chao
Yes.
getting a little bit wide though. Kamal Ali is going to be able to gain on him, but so does Chong Kai Chang. In fact, Kai Chang has a way better exit here compared to Kamal Ali, so he will have the trap, he will have the speed, he will go side by side, he will take away P5.
P5 and Kai Chang got himself. This is what I've been telling just now there, Victor. Kamal needs to be really careful. I just saw him picking from the right there. So, oops, this guy's in trouble now. And off he goes. And he just loses his position there. Kai Chang got into P5. What was that, Victor?
That was foreshadowing. Literally foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing, of course.
It was Checo's GR Supra.
Tell me about it. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Group A. Race number 2, semi-finals happening here live. And Kai Chang is on board with us. He might put a little bit of a pressure on Jan here, who's on P4 now. He's under pressure now. He really needs to get the gap that he needs to put himself away from Kai Chang as they come into this downhill where the braking needs to be on point. We don't want to be making mistakes there. Jan here just holding on to his position, defending the line and not letting Kai Chang peek left and right over here as they're coming into turn number 12 now. And this could be another opportunity for Kai Chang to hold on to it. But then Jen Ye just says no yet.
Yeah, Chao Jin Ye versus Chong Kai Chang. Ye versus Kawaii Sakana. These two guys have been doing it in race 1. Now they're going to be coming in for race 2's battle here, and yet again for 4th position here. So the two of them, like I said, they're very evenly matched, you know, in terms of pace, and it seems like as well in terms of racecraft too. The strategies have been very similar between the two of them as well, carrying almost similar amounts of fuel, it looks like, and perhaps the same compound tires. But certainly Kai Chang is getting a gain lane onto Jenye now. He will be alongside him going into the final corner. He's going to try to outbreak him on the inside here. Perfect position, but Jenye still carries a lot of speed though. But Kai Chang just elbows his way into the apex. He takes P4 now. He's ahead of his compatriot Chao Jenye.
Ya, satu pintasan yang sangat baik daripada Kai Chang sekarang ni untuk meletakkan beliau di dalam P yang keempat. Dan nampaknya ada beberapa jentera yang sudah pun masuk ke dalam pit stop sekarang ni, Victor, as they are going to go back into the track very soon. Tetapi Wayne Go masih lagi berada di luar, and he's now going maybe for one last extra lap over there.
Yeah, previously Jenye had in a similar situation of what Kai Chang is right now. Still about 25% of fuel left here, and he's still able to go for one more stint. Nevertheless, Wayne Go still leading this race now at 4.5 seconds ahead of Chong Kai Chang, so he hasn't taken a pit stop, but everyone else has, including Lau Wei-Kit, who is now dropped down to 4th place coming out of the pits here, but still crucially stays ahead of Danish Warren. But Wayne Go has not yet taken his pit stop though, and his fuel indicator is already blinking, so he's going to have to take one last pit stop here and hopefully be able to run out the next 9 minutes.
Ya, so jadi kita akan teruskan dengan race ini dan kita on board bersama dengan Wayne Go yang kini berada di dalam P yang pertama, and looking at his fuel there, it's blinking and he needs to be going into the pits very shortly, and this is going to be giving the rest of the other races the advantage to overtake him unless we see him turning the events around. And this is, there you go, Yong Le is on P7 at this moment, trying to get himself all the way to P5, but then this is going to be a long stretch for them to go, where we have another couple of minutes there, less than 10 minutes I would say, as they are to go to find out who's going to be qualifying into the grand finals.
Chao Jenye is still ahead right now, but Chiam Long there is catching him slowly, bit by bit, inch by inch, getting into the beach corner now. It's a very tight one there, but it seems like it goes a little bit wide, but perhaps he's trying to carry a little bit more speed, but nevertheless, by the time to get through the exit though, that was 0.2 of a second gain from Jenye's side, so that certainly did not help Cham Yong there at all, but he does regain all that time just by being very smooth through the chicanes, so you can see where the differences lie between these drivers. One of them is a little bit better at these very fast chicanes, but one is a bit better at taking these very much slower corners here.
Yeah, that is something that we have been putting our focus on there, Victor. And there you go, Low is now in P1 now. Danish Warren got himself out and he's in P2. Will he be going for the P1? That is another question to be finding out. And Kai Chang on P3. P4 falls for Wayne Go at this moment. Kamal still in P5 now, P6 there, Victor. And let's see if he's able to capitalize. Oh no, he's dropping that. He's in P7 now. I think Yongle just overtaken him.
Yeah, I think that might have been the case just off camera there.
There you go.
Kamel, he's still behind Chong Yong there though. Still trying to chase up as quickly as he can. Trying to get some gains, not much gains to be made though before coming into this two back-to-back corners here. A very tricky section here, really, because if you don't take the correct line, you will find yourself very much at the disadvantage of the exit. But you can see the way that Kamal took the exit there allows you to get a slingshot effect now onto Yong there. He's gaining on him inch by inch now. He's trying to find a way on the inside here. Just elbows out. No bit of contact there. Yong there is still able to stay on track though, but Kamal Ali comes out ahead. That might be grounds for, I don't know, like a review though, because it didn't look like they were alongside when he touched him.
I mean, this is going to be a very provocative. I mean, this is going to be very talking point later on there, Victor. You know, that could not be fair for certain of them, but that will be leaving up to the race directors to decide what's going to be happening. But Yongle now is in P7, and right in front of him is going to be Mohammad Kamal. He just overtook this man and just leaving him behind, and he's full of questions right now there, Victor. So, you know, how is that possible to happen? But it is what it is.
Oh no,
Kamal goes into the wall, and Kamal goes off, and here we go. The first incident from the chicane of death. We were thinking it's going to be a clean race, but it's not going to be a clean race there, Victor. Someone jinxed it. I believe it's me.
I think for Cham Yong there, he's looking at it going like, ha, karma.
Here we go.
Oh, goodness me. Wayne Go, not quite out of the woods though, because Kong Kai Chang is all over him. 3-10s between the two of them as they break for the first chicane. And Wayne Go is doing his absolute level best to stay ahead. He does build a bit of a gap now coming out the exit of turn 3. So it looks like he is still going to be able to keep this fight going between himself and Kong Kai Chang. But it's a battle for P2 right now. Wayne Go cutting through the grass there. Very aggressive in his lines right now because he needs to do everything in his power to make sure he stays ahead of Kong Kai Chang.
Absolutely. 5 minit yang terakhir di dalam race ini, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan. Ini adalah semifinal Group B, race yang kedua. Dan inilah masanya untuk all the races to go all out. The last 5 minutes is where it gets absolutely intense among all of them. And let's see if there's going to be any changes drastically in the position. And we're right now, we're low. And Low now trying to chase down Kamal, and Kamal's incident, we saw what happened earlier on. He went into the walls, he dropped down, he got back into P6, and if he's able to hold on to this P6, this is going to be wonderful for him. But you know, you just cannot escape so many things. You can escape number of incidents inside, but he just could not escape the wall of death just now. Or should I say the chicane of death. And maybe off he comes again into turn number 12. Kamal's under trouble now. As Low goes, here we go again. Here we go again. But he got himself in a very good position now. He controlled himself. Now, the chicane is going to be a question.
Yeah, let's see if he makes it through. I
Can
think
he do it or not?
Should be able to make it through. I
Should
hope he
be.
makes it through this time around. But Lowick is keeping the pressure ever so slightly onto him. Almost gets out of shape on the exit there.
no.
Here, look at that. He had to correct a little bit of a slide there. But look at him. This not even bothered at all. All smiles here for Lowick kid. He knows he's just saved that corner there. But Kamal, he still maintains in P6 though, and a gap is built between the two of them now.
Absolutely. 4 minutes left in this race, ladies and gentlemen. 4 minutes left for these races. This is race number 2 in Group B semi-finals. And looking at the race leaders, P1 is still being held by Danish Wigneshwaran. P2 is going to go for Wayne Go. P3 for Kai Chang. P4 is going to be for Jen Ye. And P5 is Yongle. Right now, we're watching. And Yongle is in a very good position there, Victor. If he's able to hold on to this without getting any penalties, without getting into any trouble or any mistakes that he's going to be making or anything, he will be safe to qualify.
Exactly. Like for Young Lair, at least, you know, if he can just maintain
Oh,
a
what?
good pace here.
You saw that? No way! No way!
Tank slapper into the gravel.
Oh my
and Young Lair
goodness.
comes up into P4. Look at that. It's just like how, it's as if Young Lair has literally a guardian angel over his head, making sure he gains position after position.
You gotta be kidding me,
Just
man.
like that. Wingo has a 1 second penalty, and Kai Chang is now using his opportunity to attack him straight away on the beat chicane. He's going to try to catch him before the
got
apex
it.
there. He outbreaks him, in fact. Stays ahead. Wingo now fights back from the inside. They will be side by side through the chicanes of death. But again, Wingo, he still has that 1 second penalty though. Can he still make it in front of Kong Kai Chang? Oh, he just barely makes it in front of him. Through the first part. Now the second part. Wingo now forced to slow down because the penalty line is coming up through the tunnel. And he ends up in the wall.
lost it.
Wingo loses P2. Kong Kai Chang is now up into the P2.
John Kai Chang, I mean, what a turn of an events for this man there, Victor. He got into so many trouble, and then Wenger had to take that penalty, that final few minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, 3 more minutes left in this race. As what we said, the last 5 minutes is where it gets absolutely insane. And there you go, another movement by Zhao Jinye to overtake Hakim as he looks on the inside now as they come into turn number 17. And Zhao Jinye might get the best out of this, and he got him till into P7, leaving Hakim in behind.
Beautiful, beautiful overtake there for Chao Jinye, but it's still only for 7th place though. But it's still
Yeah.
2 points nevertheless. But Hakim fights back
No
on
way.
the exit. He already got a good exit out of that. Now he takes back his position here. Chao Jinye still has to continue chasing him into the entry of the first turn and into the chicanes yet again. Muhammad Kim now defending with his absolute life now to make sure he keeps these 2 points, and Jinye still has to tuck him behind.
I mean, the positions are changing left and right all the time there, Victor. I just cannot understand how this is happening in every corner now. And there you go, the man again. Kamal is in P4 and Yongler is in P5. That's not much of a huge gap between both of them as they're coming down into turn number 10 right now. And Kamal holding on into P4, not making any mistakes. And maybe he just needs to run all the way without making any mistakes there, Victor. We know that he made several mistakes earlier on that almost cost him, but now he just needs to hold on to it and maintain all the way in this 1 more minute to go. Yo, look at Yongle coming really
Under
fast.
attack here. Yongle has the inside. He takes position, but Wildkid will try to eat him on the inside there. Will be side by side
He
here
does
again. True to chicane there, but maybe he just might be hit. He blocks him out before he gets to the chicanes there. Brilliant move to defend the position here by Wildkid, but can he still hold on? Still not yet done yet this race. Mama come out a little bit too far ahead there to give Wildkid a toe, but nevertheless he still gains on Chao Long Liu now, but it's still not quite out of the woods. Coming around to the final corner,
Wow, look at the
Wildkid now
pace.
trying to outbreak Kamal Ali, trying to keep the pressure going on him. Kamal Ali doesn't take the bait though. He still maintains a good and solid line through there. Now coming to a line that's already 25 minutes. Danish Riz already caught the checker flag. So has Wayne Go. Wildkid, will he be able to take P4? Yes, he does.
I mean, what a race it has been there, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, wow, this is absolutely insane. And I just cannot believe how Lau got that pace there, Victor. He just came in like, you know, a fresh car out of the pit stops. And what a race it was. So Kai Chang is still out there in P1.
Kai Chan still has to go at race pace because the race
he's on a
technically
parade lap at
is
this
not
moment.
over for him yet, but Danish has already taken P2, Wayne Go has taken P3, I think it was Breakit Lau who has taken 4th place there, Mama Kamal Ali has taken P5, Chiam Yong Lair has taken P6 ahead of Chao Jen Ye in P7 now, Kai Chang now rounding around, still in the 2nd sector right now, still going to be a bit of a parade lap for, but he has done the best he could possibly ask for here in this race here. What an unexpected victory here for Chong Kai Chan, but we've known this guy has been quick all day long here, and finally he has a result to show for.
I mean, tell me about that, Victor. I mean, Kai Chang's just putting on a really good performance. We saw several incidents happen between the rest of the other races, as what Danish Wickerswan said, that, you know, he wants to play it safe as long he qualifies into and gets the point that he needed. But this man just show how it's done. It's been so incredible in the front and leaving these two behind. We know the incidents between Danish Wickerswan and also Wayne Good was super intense between both of them, but he escaped all of this, keeping himself all the front and not leaving any sorts of pressure to overtake him as he counts into the checkered flags. And this man just putting on a show. That is Chong Kai Chang, who wins the race too in Group B semi-finals. And what a race it has been for all of them, especially in the top 5.
Kawai Sakana taking the win in
That's
Group
the
B,
IGN.
race number 2. An unexpected one, but a welcome one for sure.
Welcome one.
Well done to him. Well done to Danish Wickerswan actually winning out the battle between him and Wayne Go. It may not have been a win here, but it's certainly going to factor a lot in the points as we tally it up later on once the official results are out. Waken has done well to recover there. I think it might have taken a little bit too much fuel in his final stint, but nevertheless, P4 is still a respectable finish for him considering where he started things off for the day. Kamal Ali is still able to eke into that P5 there. Yong Lair and Jen Ye battling it out even from race 1 here. It seems like Yong Lair is the one that wins this time around compared to Chao Jen Ye. Brilliant racing all around here for Group B. Absolutely entertaining.
Absolutely, this is the provisional results so far, as what Victor talked about, from P1 all the way to P5. That is the positions that we will be looking forward to. They'll be carrying them lots of huge points and also another edge towards the grand finals. But what a race it has been. Kai Chang, who wins it, it's his time. Danish Wickerswan on P2, and the podium position, all 3, it's going to be Wayne Go in the end as well. And I can really tell you that, Victor, this has been one incredible race. I mean, Group B is my favorite. Is what I said. We saw lots of interesting names. Yeah, there's a little bit of a bump here and there, but they absolutely made it really well. Any extra takes in this, Victor?
Oh man, like I'm so good. I'm just gonna be so curious to see what happens in the race 3 later on after the lunch break, because that field is going to be completely different. It's no longer going to be tarmac. It's going to be all like dirt.
It'll be using a different car as well.
You're going to be using a Group B rally car, or rather a Group B inspired rally car.
Tell me
so
about
the
it.
techniques they have to use with driving is going to be so completely different to what we've seen so far in the GR Supra. So that's going to be really exciting to see. And given how like in Group A, Taj Aiman was dominant, right? He won both races here. But Group B, I think it's still kind of up for grabs, right? Who might be the one who ends up with the highest amount of point later on during the official results. But that is still to remain to be seen. We're going to have to wait for the all the protests to be tallied and for the points to be calculated. Then we only find out where these guys stand in Group B.
Betul. So nampaknya tamat dah race yang kedua di dalam Grup B. Kepada anda yang sedang lihat, ini adalah Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup Malaysia 2023. So jadi kita akan bersama dengan Nas untuk mendapatkan pendapat-pendapat daripada para pelumba kita. So anything, it is all down to the main man in the front. Nas, take it away. What a race it has been. See you in a while.
Thank you, Mr. Victor Cax and Mr. Matthews Isaac. Sejuk hati saya bila kita dengar awak cakap bahasa Melayu. Tapi yang panas, hati-hati racers kita. Ini dia top contender kita untuk race to Group B, Mr. Chong Kai Chang. Last year, finalist coming in number 5 and this year making his mark again. Just now, a wonderful race. But was it because of your consistency or because of the other drivers' inconsistency?
I think it's down to multiple factors. Consistency is one thing, but others were making a lot of mistakes. I keep seeing a lot of people in front of me crashing into the walls and so on, so I just capitalized from there.
Exactly, I saw a lot of crashes today, but I must say Danesh Vigneshwaran, who is the top contender for Group B, and Mr. Wayne Go coming in from the back and suddenly taking podium for 2 races. Who's your biggest contender?
Everyone. You can't just say who is the biggest contender because all of us fought all our way here to the top 20. So technically everyone here has a chance as long as we keep it calm and collected.
Calm and collected. Let's talk about your race here at Dragon Trail. Is it one of your favorite tracks? Because you were consistent first race and second race.
It's definitely a fun track. I like it a lot. But then the Dutch chicane did I did crash into it on Little Race 1, so...
The chicane of death.
Yeah. It claimed me on Race 1.
Exactly. Well, if you listen to the commentators, once you take a look at the highlights of your race, you'll find that a lot of people crashed through those chicanes. Last but not least, coming down to Race 3, what are your expectations?
Just stay calm, don't get too rowdy. As long as you have a clean race, it will probably work out.
It's a tight point system between driver 1 to driver 6. Any small mistake in race 3 and you are out of the grand finals. Do you think you have a good chance?
We'll see.
Confidence from our race winner right here in race through Dragon's Trail. Well done, Mr. Chong Kai Chang, last year's finalist coming in at number 5. And so we'll move on to our next contender right now. And he's never made it this far. Past 2 years, he's taken a bit of a hiatus. Mr. Lau Wui Kit coming in at number 4 for race 2, but leading most of the way for race 2. Lau, 4 minutes from the end. What happened?
Basically, I made a slight mistake on one of the corners. And then in the pit stop as well, I add a little bit more fuel, then basically I lost a lot also.
You reckon it's because of lack of practice? Because we didn't see you here in the competition for the past 2 years. You made it to the finals 3 years ago. And so do you feel that the competition has gotten stronger? What do you think about the other drivers? And what do you think of your chances in race 3?
Well, this year the drivers are improving compared to last 3 years ago that I in the finals. For me personally, I think they are very strong this year.
Very strong indeed, Mr. Lau, very strong. So this year, we were looking at that you might be one of the spoilers for Group B, especially leading for so long in race 2. And so you still have a chance to step into the grand finals for race 3. What will be your strategy?
Go hard or go home.
Race hard or race home. Mr. Lau, thank you very much. Oh, so menggelabah. Don't worry. his lips are shaking, his hands are shaking, and of course, it's all the pressure to enter the grand finals for a chance at 25,000 ringgit. So we've got the highlights for race 2. Let's work it through the motions with Mr. Vista Cax and Mr. Vasu Isaac. Over to you guys, race commentators.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this is the semi-finals, and this is the highlight of what happened in race 2, Group B. I mean, perfect start by these two there, Victor Chandra and also Shafiq. They're battling all out, and this is the moment that really killed my hope for these two men to come in the front.
Yeah, but I think that will certainly be like hotly contested later on. There will definitely be complaints being sorted through right now by Mr. Alex Yo, who is the race director for this competition all throughout the weekend. So he's going to have his work cut out for him for sure, because it's not just him and a lot of other incidents like this. They were so lucky there from Cham Yong Lair not get collected there, and that allowed him to continue to fight against Kamal Ali later on. And Chai Chang, what an amazing race he had, really, because coming in from the back there, you know, you really didn't expect, especially with such heavy hitters like Lao Wei Kit, Danish Vickers Warren, as well as Wayne Gold, you know, leading the race through and through. But Kai Chang just was playing it very safe, very calm, and very steady, actually, you know, compared to how chaotic things were for a lot of other racers here. I mean, we saw like the chicane of death claim his first victim there. We saw Wayne Gold hanging it up in the wall here as well in the chicanes and having to deal with a 1-second penalty as well. So a lot of a very chaotic group, really, especially when you consider how clean the racing was for Group A early on, wasn't it?
Absolutely there, Victor. That's a lot of controversial things that happened, but we'll leave that to the race directors to decide with the protests and stuff. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the race results in Group B, especially for race 2. So in P1 is going to be Chong Kai Chang getting 25 points. P2 will be falling for Danish Vigneshwaran with 18 points. P3, Wayne Ger on 15 points. P4 for Lowo Kid on 12 points. P5 will be falling for Mohammad Kamal bin Mohammad Ali on 10 points. P6, Cham Yong Lair will be carrying home 8 points. P7, Chao Jin Ye on 6 points. P8, Mohammad Hakim bin Suhaimi on 4 points. P9, it will be Chandra Maudi Andane on 2 points. And last but not least, it's going to be for Mohammad Shafiq bin Omar Ali on 1 point.
So let's have a look at the overall result. This is going to be after 2 races with still 1 more to go after the break. Wayne Goh is in the lead by a single solitary point, and Chong Kai Chang's victory in race 2 has allowed him to stay within touching distance of the leaders in Group B right now. Danish Vickers-Warren having to sit back there and contemplate how he wants to try to regain points here, because he's 5 points behind Chong Kai Chang at this juncture. Chao Jin Ye has been making a very solid performance in race 1, a little bit less performance in race number 2, but still enough to get himself tied. 18 points. Actually, 3 drivers are tied for 18 points right now. Chao Jin Ye, Cham Yong Lair, as well as Lao Wei Kit, who are 4th, 5th, and 6th respectively. And we got Kamal Ali with 14 points right now, still ahead of Mohakim bin Suhaimi, who only been able to eke up 4 points, making his total tally to 12. And Shafiq Ali as well as Chandra Maudi Adnan are both tied for last place with only 3 points to each of their names.
Yeah, so very interesting take when it comes to the results in the semi-finals Group B. But remember, we also have race 3 that will be commencing later on. But at this moment, it seems like it is over for Group A and Group B semi-finals, race 1 and race 2. We'll be going forward for the next one after the break perhaps. But right now, it seems like Nas has a lot of things to say. So Nas, my man in the main stage, take it away, man.
Thank you, dear competitors. Thank you so much. Not as much to say as you guys from where you guys are sitting, but I gotta agree, for Group B, it's a little bit of confusion right there, especially during race 2. A lot of difference when we see the clean races from Group A. But most surprising, let's take a look at the race results for Group B, where Mr. Wayne Goh is making waves at number 1, and Mr. Danish Vigneshwaran dropping to number 3. Chong Kai Chang running a great race. He was last year's finalist, actually coming in at number 5, and coming in from behind to take 2nd place. There's still a lot of points to drive for as we await race 3. So Group A, Group B, 1 more race to book your place in the finals. That's happening tomorrow here at Sunway Pyramid, Blue Concourse. We're going to take a quick break before we move on to race 3 and find out who will be our grand finalists. Stay tuned. We'll continue streaming at 3:30 p.m. Thank you so much to our sponsors, Toyo Tires, Modelista TCD Asia Company Limited, Denso Malaysia, Sdn Bhd, NK Malaysia, Sdn Bhd, Motis Malaysia, Toyota Capital Malaysia, as well as Kintawan. I'm Nazrahman, your host. We'll be back for more racing action at Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup Malaysia 2023. We'll be back at 3:30 p.m.